Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
And here we go on a Reaction Monday, attacking and dominating our way to 9 a.m. every single weekday morning right here on The Fan. Brandon Beam, the General Bobby Carpenter, he's out all week. He's down in Guantanamo Bay. We got our man Austin Ward with us, and of course, our fearless leader and producer, Mark the Shark. A-Ward Sports, happy official offseason in football. Crowned a Super Bowl champion last night with the Philadelphia Eagles, basically after the first 30 minutes of the game. What's going on, buddy? Good to talk to you.
Great to be here. Not even sure 30 minutes is how long it took for the Eagles to clinch that one.
Ooh.
What a massacre.
Bloodbath.
I mean, just really hate to see it for those just great-natured, good, fun-loving Kansas City Chiefs that everyone can rally behind. Just a tough one to take.
America's team.
Yeah. Enjoy your offseason, losers.
It was quite the performance from the Eagles defense last night. Not that their offense wasn't going as well, but anytime you sack Patrick Mahomes, what did he have, 30 yards at halftime, which is like by far the fewest he's ever had in his career. Had never trailed by more points at halftime. Anything that could go the Eagles' way was going their way, and it was just a straight-up massacre last night. 40-22 ends up being your final score, and honestly, it wasn't even that close.
No, it wasn't. Hey, beautiful deep shot there from Mahomes to make it look a little closer there in the fourth quarter. Not sure where that was for the rest of the game, but I'm not.
He didn't have the time to
not
do that.
sad about it.
He didn't have the time.
The numbers are insane for the Philadelphia defensive front. I couldn't even believe it. They were showing it in the stadium there. I don't think the broadcast really ever mentioned it that much, and
I saw Albert Breer tweet about it.
It's like
and
0% blitz rate. They didn't send a blitz the whole game, and they were living in the Chiefs' backfield.
Straight up just sent 4 rushers all night.
Unbelievable performance. That's one of those games where they give you rules. You know, when you're in the press box, you're in the media, you're voting on MVPs of the game, offensive MVP, defensive MVP. If you're giving out a Super Bowl MVP, you got to just make an exception to the rule. Just give it to the Philadelphia defensive front.
Yeah.
Like, cut it in 4 pieces if you want, 5 pieces. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Jalen Carter, these guys, like, they were unstoppable. They were the MVPs of the game. There's anybody who watched it, I think, had to come away with that appreciation for what the Eagles did on defense. Yes, Jalen Hurts was very good, but come on. The Eagles' offense did not win that game. The defense suffocated the Chiefs.
They just ripped it away from the Chiefs, didn't they? I mean, it was a pretty awesome performance as an observing neutral to watch an offense like that, which that really wasn't the storyline for the Chiefs all year long. Like, their defense was more the storyline this season. Flirted with a couple of losses during the regular season. Like, I don't know if it was witchcraft or what they were doing, but they pulled a bunch of rabbits out of the hat, and their story came to an end because that offense was not cooking. And the Philadelphia Eagles defense was. Like, Josh Sweat and Milton Williams, both great times to be free agents for them. Like, they picked a great night to have a great night because their bank accounts will certainly grow during the offseason. 2.5 sacks and then 2 for Milton. It was a pretty incredible performance. So we'll break that down throughout the program, give you a little sound throughout the morning and what it sounds like as the Philadelphia Eagles wake up Super Bowl champions here on this Monday. Bill Bender of the Sporting News, he's going to join the program coming up here at 6:30. Jackets sliding into the Four Nations break, lose on Saturday night to the Rangers. Play-by-play man of your Columbus Blue Jackets, so Bobby Mack, he's going to join us at 7:17. Talk a little Buckeyes at 7:30. Austin, what to expect maybe this week out of that, and Ryan Day trying to get that staff a little bit shored up as we get deeper into the offseason for Ohio State. So we'll do that coming up here at 7:30 this morning. And then, as is always, on a Reaction Monday, Joshua Perry, he joins us coming up here at 8:30. Before we pop into anything else today, it is Monday. It is February 10th, 2025. Time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Mark the Shark.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
Hey, Sharky. Hey, Beamer. Think about this. This is the first day of the off season in your professional career for football.
Just checking off all these milestones.
I'll think about that.
That's the one they always tell you to really embrace.
Yeah, the last first
your
day
first
of the
last off season.
That's noteworthy, I guess. Today, boys, is February the 10th, and it was back in 1863 that the first fire extinguisher patent was granted to Alanson Crane of Virginia. Now, keep in mind, this was during the Civil War, so there were a lot of fires to put out. 1897, the New York Times began using its famous slogan. Anybody?
I don't know.
All the news that's fit to print.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Come on.
I'm serious.
You've never read the New York Times?
I have the New York Times cooking app. Does that count?
It probably says it on there somewhere.
I play Wordle sometimes. I know that they bought that.
1899, it reached 39 degrees below zero in Milligan, Ohio, the lowest temperature ever recorded in the Buckeye State. Where is Milligan?
It froze to death.
Perry County.
Okay.
It's gone.
Not far from the county seat in New Lexington.
No, that's an interesting place for it to be the coldest ever in the state.
Yeah. It's just a tiny little township. I tried to find what the population was, and I couldn't find it anywhere. They probably don't even have a census there. A lot of music today, boys. A lot of music, so let's get started. It was on this date in 1940 that In the Mood by Glenn Miller hit number one on the U.S. radio airwaves. Either one of you know that song?
I don't know that song. Let's
Come
hit
on,
it. Let's hear
I
it.
guarantee you know it.
All right, let's hear it.
Beam, you know it? In the Mood.
Just play the song. I'll tell you afterwards. Oh, yeah, got it.
Oh, well, I couldn't have told you that was the name of it.
Then 2 years later, in 1942, Glenn Miller and his orchestra were awarded the first ever gold record for selling 1 million copies of Chattanooga. Oh, we were born way too late. What great music. 1961, the American Football League's Los Angeles Chargers moved to San Diego. We have now come full circle.
How'd that move go for them?
They're back in L.A. again. 1968, American Peggy Fleming wins the gold medal in figure skating at the Olympics in Grenoble. 1970, an avalanche crashed down on a ski resort in Val d'Isère, France, killing 42 people. Most of the guests were eating breakfast in a large room facing the mountain when the avalanche sent an estimated 100,000 cubic yards of snow down the mountain. 3 trail workers who were on the hill were swept away and killed. People inside the hotel had little time to react, and the snow exploded through the hotel's large windows. Snow was 100 yards high in some spots.
Holy smokes.
39 people inside the hotel lost their lives. 1971, the great Carole King won 4 Grammys, including Album of the Year for Tapestry. Best song on that Tapestry album.
And Glenn Miller for me.
Okay.
Just for my choice.
All right. 1979, Rod Stewart's Do You Think I'm Sexy hits number 1 on.
All right.
I was a little young still.
Oh, okay.
1992, former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson was found guilty by an Indiana jury of raping 18-year-old beauty pageant contestant Desiree Washington. Iron Mike was given a 10-year prison term. He was released after serving 3 years. 2006, the final episode of Arrested Development aired on Fox. You guys, either one
Great
of you?
show.
Well, initially, the final episode of
And
Arrested.
they brought it back for another season on Netflix.
On Netflix.
2.
Yeah.
They did 2 seasons on Netflix.
There's always money in the banana stand.
Do you know how long that show aired on Fox?
Just 2 seasons.
Just 2
right?
seasons, right?
3.
3 seasons, yeah.
Critics loved it.
It was an amazing show. Still is an amazing show to watch.
It's pretty funny.
2013, We Are Young by Fun wins Best Song at the Grammys.
Band.
Great voice.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't think of his name.
I don't know what his name is either. He split off and he did his own thing. And then Jack Antonoff, who is now like a mega star, started the band Bleachers and also writes some songs for Taylor Swift. I think the band members who stayed with Jack Antonoff and didn't break off with the lead singer, I think they've won kind of that battle.
Well, at least Financially, they did.
Yeah.
Which is really the way you want to fight that war.
He did a song with Pink. Remember that?
Jack Antonoff or the other guy?
The lead singer of Fun.
Nate Royce. Roos? Roos.
Gosh, what was the name of that song? Just give me a reason.
Oh, yeah, that's a good song.
Birthdays today. The great Roberta Flack is 88 years old, and she is still alive.
Killing me softly with this song, killing me softly with this song, telling my whole life.
I bet she was really, really happy when Lauryn Hill decided, you know what? I'm going to
Do a remake.
take a little bit of that and turn it into this and get you money.
Mark Spitz won 7 gold medals in swimming in the 1972 Olympics in Munich. He is 75 today. Greg Norman, Beamer's favorite golfer, is 70.
Bobby's guy.
Yeah, Bobby's guy. Bob loves that live tour. He's never watched a round of the live tour, but he loves it.
You see how many people were watching over in Riyadh this week?
No.
12,000.
12,000.
Fox paid $2 billion for media rights deal to get the rights to the live tour.
Wait, 12,000?
12,000
on the
viewers.
course of
12,000
viewers.
television viewers.
Oh, my gosh. Actress Elizabeth Banks is 51 today. You may remember her as Effie Trinket from Hunger Games.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Hunger Games. And may the odds be ever in your favor. Now, the time has come for us to select one courageous young man and woman for the honor of representing District 12 in the 74th Annual Hunger Games. Primrose Everdeen. I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute. I believe we have a volunteer.
You may remember her from Beth in 40-Year-Old Virgin as well.
Yes.
Do you like to do it yourself?
We got a big trunk.
Something's wrong over there in that studio.
Why?
There's a big shadow behind Austin. You know how your side of the...
I said that this morning when I walked in. It looked different.
Somebody needs to climb up there and fix the lighting.
All right,
I had to slide like 2 feet to the right from normal because this one light right here, Shark. This is great radio, by the way. Just me pointing at
Well,
the
there's
air.
people that can see it on the
I know.
YouTube stream.
It was shining directly into my eyes. I said, "This is not going to work. There's no chance." I don't know how it got
Let me
there.
find an engineer and we can fix
I'm not
that.
getting up on a chair to fix it.
I was like, I'm just going to move. That's the easiest solution here.
Anyway, boys, that is what I have for you on this 10th day of February.
Good job on that, Sharky, as always. Last night's that too. Last night's Super Bowl was a bloodbath. That's next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, I-70 westbound is shut down between 315 and 71. The closure is expected to last through the morning rush hour. You'll have to use 670 westbound through that stretch. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic sponsored by Great Lakes Kia. Brand new Kias for less than lunch. From just $5 a day. Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia. Visit greatlakeskia.com.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Tri-State Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Life. It's full of strange twists and unexpected surprises. But at AAA, it's always been our policy to look on the plus side. And our AAA Plus members tend to take the same view. Take Martin, for example. Last Monday, his morning coffee surprised him with an extra 10 degrees of Fahrenheit. Ouch! It was just the jolt of energy he needed to start the day. Later, when his shirt was targeted by the mustard on his burger, he became a proud trendsetter.
Martin, looking good.
And when he walked face first into a sparkling glass door, he was happy to provide some much-needed entertainment for his coworkers.
I'm okay.
And of course, when his car battery took early retirement, Martin felt no resentment. He knew there was a plus side. AAA's expert roadside assistance was only a call away.
Hello, AAA. Are you in a safe location?
While we can't all be like Martin, we can become a AAA Plus member and experience the peace of mind that comes with living on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinder Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HinderMotorCompany.com.
Do your good-looking shoes hurt and you don't want to wear ugly shoes? At the Good Feet store, we can help you wear your heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Looking at a bright and sunny day today. High temperatures climbing up to the middle and upper 30s. Cold tonight, low 28. Cloudy and dreary on your Tuesday with perhaps a snow shower or two. High 37. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Prime Sports is the official sports book of Morning Juice.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
The Fan. If you can find a show that's closer to Buckeye football, it would be hosted by Ryan Day. You're listening to Morning Juice.
All right, friends, got an update for you. 9 weeks in with Awaken 180. It was 4 pounds down last week. That brings the grand total up to 46, just a few pounds away from hitting that 50 spot. Let's put weight aside. I've stopped snoring thanks to Awaken 180. And what does that mean? I wake up feeling great. I'm actually sleeping through the night. Energy levels are high. I was running around yesterday in the cold at the park with Willie, so that was fun. I'm able to play at the little gym with him, throw him around. It's all good. I know most of these messages talk about the weight I'm losing, but it's more about what losing the weight is making me win in every other area. For the big game this weekend, last night, I was pumped. Adult beverages flowing like you wouldn't even believe. So that was pretty fantastic. Let them show you how easy it is. Give Awaken 180 a call, 844-346-1800. That is 844-346-1800, or online at awaken180weightloss.com. Have you had, as Austin Ward is hanging out with us today, have you had correspondence with Bill Landis?
Yeah. Was in regular communication with him throughout the game last night.
Did he climb a light post?
Well, it's funny. So I had the brothers-in-law and in-laws over, as we always do, hosting the Super Bowl party at the Ward House. And Paul says, Did I see this right on social media? Like they're greasing up the light poles, and I said, "Oh yeah,
Oh, for sure.
you don't know this is a Philly tradition for big games. So in all sports, you got to keep them off the light poles. People have plummeted to their deaths off of these things
Just recently.
So you got to be, mindful of the greased up light poles." And I said, Bill was debating. It's like he might come over. He wasn't sure if a true native son of Philadelphia cheering with that sort of passion for the Birds in our living room was going to be the right tone.
It's like Gladiator, though. Win the crowd, win your freedom. I doubt anybody at your house was cheering for the Chiefs.
They sure weren't.
Okay.
My mother-in-law picked the Chiefs to win, and she just got mercilessly booed.
I did, too, for what it's fair on Friday.
Well, I can understand why, because even on the opening drive, Patty Mahomes' buddies were like, let's throw a little bonus flag out there. And I think they were like dipping their toe in the water. Are we going to be able to get away with this in the Super Bowl? And they quickly realized no.
Who's that? AJ Brown?
Yeah.
AJ Brown OPI.
Terrible OPI. Like, well, no, I guess.
By the way, what was the crowd disbursement in the Super Bowl last night? Because it felt like 80-20 Eagles fans.
Well, so we have Bill Landis in Columbus, and I'm getting updates on his mindset. And then one of my former colleagues, Ryan Ginn, lives in New Orleans. He kept telling us throughout the week, he was going to a bunch of events. He said, I think it's 75% Philadelphia fans down here. Like it's green everywhere. The Bird Gang has taken over New Orleans. So I think it was strongly in favor of the Eagles. And I think even neutrals have grown fatigued of the Chiefs and their partners in crime. Wearing stripes out there. So
just the whole narrative around it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have to come out and issue statements that Roger has to come out and then the head of NFL officiating has to come out and say these conspiracies that we want the Chiefs to win are crazy. And I know, I agree with that. Like it's not pre-cooked in there, but sometimes it feels like it.
It is crazy that they want them to win. Why out of everyone would you pick this smaller market team on the borderline of Kansas and Missouri? Why would you build around them? It doesn't make sense, but that's the baseline of a good conspiracy.
It is. It's true. But there was no conspiracies to be had after that opening drive last night. As soon as AJ Brown got tagged for the OPI, I was like, well, this game from this juncture, if I can quote Thad Matta, can go one of two ways. Either the refs are totally going to lean in on it, or they're going to go the opposite way and help Philadelphia out. Now, I mean, the penalties were fairly even throughout the game, but they tagged the Chiefs. I forget the defensive lineman who was offside. Like the Chiefs had a big stop near halftime, and they were going to get the ball. They were going to get the ball back. They called offside. They could have called offside 4 plays before because that same guy was lined up offside. They bring like a jailhouse blitz. They finally call the offside. You get a late hit on Saquon, which extended a drive. There were a lot of interesting things going along, and I'm glad to know that the refs were no impact to the game just because of how good Philadelphia was last night.
Yeah, Philadelphia, you have to give them credit for that. They took it out. As somebody else, we can quote another Ohio State coach if we want. Leave no doubt, knock them out.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what Philadelphia did. They even on a game. If you'd told me that they were going to struggle to run the football the way they did, Saquon did not dominate that game by any stretch of the imagination, at least not the way that I thought he would if the Eagles were going to win the Super Bowl, and it didn't matter. Again, that defense was utterly dominant, and Jalen Hurts, it was like, is Spagnuolo going to stop blitzing him? Because every time they blitz and they're playing, some man behind it, Jalen Hurts is like, all right, well, see you later. I'm out of here. I'm going to extend plays. I'm going to get easy yardage, chunk plays, first downs. I mean, he had the answer, and he made a bunch of plays with his arm as well that, he doesn't get enough credit for it. Remember, Beam?
He was on it last night, man.
We were in here, November? We were doing a string of shows together, and every morning we'd look to the right, and the whole week long, they're like, what's wrong with Philadelphia's passing attack?
The whole week.
Every day. I don't know why that was the storyline, and you and I were just sitting here scratching our heads and going, well, they have the number 1 defense in the NFL and the number 1 rushing attack. Who cares if they can throw the football?
Their running back almost combined for 3,000 scrimmage yards this year.
It's like, oh, man, well, they're one of the worst passing teams in the NFL. Well, you think? They can run it for 300 yards a game. Why would they throw it? What are you talking about? Turns out we looked good on that. questioning that decision.
Did anybody have Kenny Pickett getting into the game and taking meaningful snaps? I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Sure didn't expect that. Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett.
Here was Nick Sirianni after the game, how Jalen Hurts just got better throughout the season.
Jalen's special, and the criticism, it just blows my mind because I think he's so special and won so many games and works his butt off and just continues to get better, can block out everything and just focus on the task at hand of getting better, putting yourself positioned to win each week, and he does a great job of that. And he had an unbelievable game today when we needed him to, because when you sell out to stop, we knew how good of a coach and how good of a defense that we were playing today. But when you sell out to stop one thing, another thing opens, and Jalen was able to take advantage of that today. And man, him and this team are world champs forever.
They are a combo of fire and ice. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Was it 24-0 at halftime? Right? I mean, it was. I think it was because they said Washington held the biggest lead at halftime in a Super Bowl. It was 25-0 when they were up over the Broncos going into the half. And you had right before halftime, the Eagles scored a touchdown, maybe with like under the 2-minute warning or somewhere in there to push the lead from 17-24. Sirianni's all fired up, right? I mean, he's acting like they had just won. I'm like, all right, there's 30 minutes left. There's an outside possibility that the Chiefs could possibly come back in this. And then you look at Jalen Hurts, and his resting heart rate just seemed like it was 45 the whole game. Like, they are quite the dynamic duo. 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years. Now they got the trophy. It's heading back to Philadelphia. So I've always liked Jalen Hurts. I think he's an incredible story, and he was fantastic last night. If you were going to have to award the player to one single person and not split it 4 or 5 ways for the Eagles defensive line, he was a perfect candidate because he was out of control last night. He was really doing the same things he was doing all regular season and in the playoffs, and they showed that last night against an extremely good Chiefs defense.
Yeah, and look, that team is very well put together. Yeah. They don't have, even if you're going to say that Jalen Hurts and the passing attack are the weakness, well, they have A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert. Like, they have weapons all over the place. They choose to play that way, which is how everyone says, what's the championship formula? Run the football and play good defense. They play elite defense, and they had one of the most productive rushing seasons in the history of the game. That's exactly what you want. And then when they had to make some plays through the air last night, Jalen Hurts did that. Mm-hmm. There's no question. Like, they're the best team in football. They've earned it. But I didn't hear anybody criticizing the fact that we had a blowout game in a championship. Did they not put the bracket together the right way? That was, too boring. I thought every game was supposed to be competitive and down to the wire in a playoff format. That's what I was told.
Not even in the NFL can you get that.
Crazy. Unfortunate.
College football playoff was a bad format this year.
Of course it was. We knew that from the second that they devised it. But that, even if you change it, doesn't ensure that you're going to have competitive games all the way through. Every game in the divisional round, every game in the wild card round in the NFL, like, those were boring games. In this sport, every year, you're just going to have 2 or 3 legitimate contenders. College football and the NFL. That's the way it works.
And the way that the Eagles just decimated the Chiefs last night, I think, is a pretty shining example.
Well, I mean, the NFL could have put the better team. They messed up by removing the Bills through officiating malfeasance and incompetence. Maybe we would have had a better game if Josh Allen was out there after he earned it with a first down.
Bill Benner. Got anything else to get off your chest this morning?
No, I'm good.
Bill Benner of the Sporting News. He reacts to the Super Bowl with us coming up in 2 minutes. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching I-70 westbound shut down between 71 and 315. This is expected to be closed through the morning rush hour. Use 670 westbound through that stretch. I'm 10 TD's Amy Steckerwald with your Fan traffic.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina is way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary
complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321321. That's ROCK to 321321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more of the good life to your life, so you can bring home more perfectly plump and flavorful produce picked for precise freshness, beautifully marbled beyond brag-worthy certified Angus beef, and more must-have money-saving M-Perks rewards. Because saving more on local favorites is good, but bringing home more of what you love in every trip, that's the good life. We do more to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medication. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hash browns and smackdowns. You're listening to Morning Juice.
A reminder coming up here tomorrow morning at 6:30. Schlegs, he's going to join us live. As for now, though, every single Reaction Monday, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Check with our guy at the Sporting News. He is Bill Bender. Bill, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. What about that performance out of the Philadelphia Eagles last night, Bill? It was an absolute bloodbath. I mean, from jump to finish, it was no questions about it. One of the more dominant performances of the season with the Eagles hoisting Mr. Lombardi.
Yeah, and another reminder that you can dominate with defense. Sacks, 3 turnovers. They dominated the game on the defensive side of the ball. I think the Chiefs had 1 first down on their first 4 drives. So, yeah, and you were starting to hear 85 Bears comparisons. Now, no, it wasn't the 85 Bears last night, and Kansas City got some cosmetic touchdowns there at the end of the game. But absolutely dominant start to finish from Nick Sirianni, the Mount Union player, Mount Union assistant, and you got to give the Eagles credit for that.
Bill, it's remarkable. Both Ryan Day and Nick Sirianni were supposed to be fired like 3 months ago, and now they're champions of the college football in the NFL. How about that?
Right. Mike DeCourcy wrote about that for us last week. There's definitely some comparisons there, and a reminder that you got to let these guys finish. And Nick Sirianni, obviously, like I mentioned, we wrote a story about his Mount Union roots last week. He learned from Larry Karras, who won 11 national championships at the Division III level. And you could see that he's using some of those principles and he's learned from that. So happy for both coaches, when you take that much criticism and you're able to pull through it and win the big one, it's huge for both of them. And that puts both of those coaches on a different level. There's no doubt.
Bill, did you have on your bingo card last night that Patrick Mahomes was going to be sacked 6 times and that the Eagles were going to bring 0 blitzes in doing so?
No, and Vic Fangio has been around the game for a long time, obviously. He was Bears coordinator for a while, right? Bears,
yes.
Saints. I mean, there's Dolphins. There's a lot of teams that he was a coordinator for. I remember they used to give Aaron Rodgers fits because you had to stay patient because of that scheme, and they wouldn't let you beat them over the top. Now, Patrick Mahomes made a ridiculous throw when it was too little too late to Xavier Worthy, but they couldn't get over the top against it, and they made a lot of mistakes that they typically didn't make in the Super Bowl. I mean, just little penalties, an unnecessary roughness call on McDuffie. Hopkins had the drop in the second quarter. They didn't help themselves either, which was probably the most surprising part to me.
We mentioned Nick Sirianni elevating himself in the profession. What did this performance from Jalen Hurts do in your mind?
Well, I mean, Austin, you and I both saw him at the college level. I mean, what an arc this guy has. Mm-hmm. He was 1 drive away in college from being a national championship quarterback as a freshman. And Deshaun Watson led Clemson down the field and changed that, and obviously gets benched in another title game for ineffectiveness. And then, this arc with the Eagles where he didn't start right away. And I just think he's a really good person, good leader, calm. You always see that written about him, and he really is. And, for him to put on a performance that was comparable to when they lost 2 years ago was a very amazing thing.
He is Bill Bender, the Sporting News, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Bill, as we now get into the NFL offseason, what are you most looking forward to across the league? Because here in a couple of weeks, we're going to get to, the Combine, and then we'll have pro days all over the place, and then ultimately being the end of April, we'll get to the NFL Draft. You got coaching, the hiring cycle still going on. Free agency, I believe, starts in a month here. Like, what are you most looking at here as we get into this offseason?
Free agency, as usual. I mean, do the Browns trade Myles Garrett before the draft? I guess that's possible. I mean, he wants a trade, and he put it out there, and who gets him? Which contender goes after him? Does he end up in Detroit? Does he end up in Green Bay? I mean, those are two, and that would shift the NFC North a little bit when you pick up somebody like that. Obviously Aaron Rodgers announced that yesterday, and you'll see a little bit of quarterback shuffle. Who ends up where? As I just made the joke when that news came out yesterday, and I know you'll appreciate it. I said, well, he'll end up in a Vikings uniform, right?
Fulfill your destiny, Aaron. Fulfill it.
I mean, that's where they all go. I don't understand it, but maybe he will. And then, and then Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders at the draft. As we get into the draft process, those two will be talked about a lot, and we push quarterbacks up in the draft anyway. Does Will Howard push up into the second round, maybe even late first round if he has a really good combine performance, because he was dominant in the playoffs?
I mean, the Raiders are going to need a quarterback. The offensive coordinator there knows him. I think we've got it done, Bill.
Yeah, there you go. Problem solved. The Raiders always need a quarterback, it seems like. So they do need to answer that question. And I think that's what, with Chip going there and Pete Carroll and kind of a new regime, I think Aiden O'Connell's a decent quarterback, but is he a long-term starter? No. So I think they do need to go there in one way or the other, and whether that means being creative and doing that, it would be interesting to see. But Will Howard, obviously, the size, the mobility, I've read a lot about the mobility being attractive to NFL scouts. And again, I mean, his resume, that last 4 games, is as good as it gets.
Bill, as we also get into this offseason now, and I know that the mountaintop is a long way away for 31 other teams, and only one team can hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Does it seem like it's further away from the Chiefs for you than what it's been? I mean, I know that they had a great season. Defense was the storyline this year. We'll see what happens with the Chris Jones injury and the news that comes out of that. But you talk about an aging roster, aging coaches. I know Patrick Mahomes isn't going anywhere for a while, and they do have some weapons. But it did seem like a pretty awesome run that they went on. But they have some, I would imagine, big-time roster concerns as they now get into their offseason.
Yeah, and you're still competing with Buffalo and Cincinnati and Baltimore. And I know the Bengals didn't make the playoffs, but as long as Joe Burrow's quarterback, they are going to be very good on offense. So, yeah, and it's important. I thought it was preposterous to, even put Mahomes and Brady in the same sentence, and that had to be painful for Mahomes with Brady announcing the game, because Tom Brady went 12 years between winning his 3rd Super Bowl and his 4th one. And then he went on another big run. So it's almost like 2 separate dynasties with Tom Brady. And yes, these 2 quarterbacks are both 3-2 after their first 5 Super Bowls. But, if I can give you a little bit of an old man rant, and I'm like, when did we forget about Joe Montana in the Super Bowl and the 4 Super Bowls and the no interceptions and the game-winning drives? He did all those things too. But to answer your question, yeah, it gets hard. And with that, all of those factors at work, you got to take advantage of the chances you have. I mean, as a Green Bay fan, I thought Aaron Rodgers would be in 4 or 5. He played in 1. It's very hard to get to the Super Bowl.
That's the second time now, Bill, that you've brought up Aaron Rodgers. You're just
yeah. Not that I'm bitter. No, not that I'm no. And I appreciated him. He is, as a talent, as good as all those quarterbacks we've just been talking about. But, things happen during the playoffs. You lose a game you shouldn't. You have a tough run. And like I said, I don't have any problem with him, especially his time in Green Bay. But, there were a lot of missed opportunities there.
Bill, before we get you out of here, what if you are Brian Gutekunst as the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, and you're calling up Andrew Berry and the Browns, what are you giving up for Myles Garrett's services?
See, I don't think they will.
I'm not asking you what you think they're going to give up. I'm asking you what you would give up.
I saw one on social media that said something to the effect of like a second rounder and Jair Alexander. If they could get away with that, yes, I would.
That's a heist.
Yeah, they won't. And as you guys, everybody, what the Browns get for Myles Garrett will be far less than what they want, because the leverage is gone, because Myles Garrett has already put out a statement that he wants out. So, if you could get something like that, I would take it.
Bill, always appreciate the time. Thanks for jumping on with us here this morning. Have a great rest of the week, buddy, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
Hey, I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks so much.
There you go. Our guy from the Sporting News, Bill Bender, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Shark is vehemently shaking his head no, too. So first trade idea, out the window. We're going to need better from Bill. It was a short travel night for the new head coach of the Saints. That and Quick Hitters next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, 70 westbound downtown is shut down. This stretches between 71 and 315. Use 670 westbound through that stretch. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan traffic.
Come in. Joe, I wasn't expecting to see you. Why does everybody say that? I came to congratulate you. No joke. Well, it was a hard-fought campaign. Campaign? I'm talking about $5 at Great Lakes Kia. Great Lakes Kia, where new Kias are less than lunch. Brand new Kias, $5 a day. I'm being serious right now. Only at Great Lakes Kia. Guess what? And by the way, get 0% financing for 72 months. Lease new 25 Kia Sorrentos LX, just $5 a day. And we love that third row seating, don't we? And new K4s, LXS, just $5 a day. No joke. Even new K5s, LXS, just $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia. But what about credit? Come on, man. If you've got a job, you ride $5 a day. Here's the deal. Go to Great Lakes Kia. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia. GreatLakesKia.com. My first home was $5. Not kidding around.
Tax and tag to qualified buyers. Visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Bring the thrill of the stadium to your wallet with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the only checking account that rewards you for being a Crew fan. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter for Affinity Whole Health. I've trusted Affinity for 7 years for their testosterone replacement therapy. Why? Because it's natural for our bodies to gradually lose testosterone over time. This leads to brain fog, fatigue, muscle loss, low sex drive, none of the things you want. If you want to feel like you did in your prime and get your energy back, better mood, higher sex drive, increase muscle mass, then get started for free at feelgreatcolumbus.com. Affinity is local. They're accessible. They ship the treatments right to your door. feelgreatcolumbus.com. Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric. Maybe your furnace isn't running so well. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater, or maybe it's just a leaky sink. Let my team take care of you the same way they take care of all my championship buddies. Check us out at carpentercolumbus.com.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. As football winds down, college basketball is gearing up, and fans are ready to see which teams will prove they are ready to shine in March and who will be seen in San Antonio. You can get in all the action from tip-off to the final whistle at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Right now, new ESPN Bet Sportsbook customers can bet $10 and get $100 back in bonus bets and unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March?
What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind.
To send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas where they'll compete for $10,000.
Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on 2 different nights. Wednesday, they'll be at Tino's on Dublin Center Drive from 7 to 9, and then on Thursday at Classics Tuttle on Tuttle Crossing Boulevard from 8 to 10.
Both events will have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2, or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Beamer has a very punchable face, so Bobby punches it. This is Morning Juice.
Reaction Monday edition of the program. Austin Ward hanging out with us for the next couple of days. Bob in Guantanamo Bay.
Just a totally normal thing to say.
It just doesn't quite roll off the tongue. But I saw this weekend he was tweeting and Instagramming, and it looks pretty awesome down there. So it seems that he's having a pretty good time.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com. Use promo code JustSports for a welcome bonus of up to $100.
Sharky.
Hang on, Beam.
I know. Sorry to cut that very nice lady off.
You know, Cuba is in the Caribbean, Beam, and of course it looks nice down there.
It does look nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bob hiked his way up like a lighthouse or something. Had a whole view of not the entire island, but of the bay. Looked pretty awesome.
Beautiful water, beautiful beaches, lousy government.
Bob's commercial came on at halftime, and everyone in the living room was like, "Oh, there's Bobby. How did he get on the Super Bowl?" And I'm like, "Well, he's actually." She's like, "Did you text him that we saw it?" I said, "Well, he's in Gitmo right now. I don't think he's going to be able to get that." She's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Never mind."
Yeah. It's hard to believe they paid $8 million for that 30-second spot.
He's worth every penny, isn't he?
I think it was well worth it for his commercial. But there were some commercials last night that want their $8 million back.
Yeah.
Everyone in the fourth quarter.
I didn't even know if I noticed any in the fourth quarter.
No one was watching.
I did like the Reese's lava commercial. Don't eat the lava. That was a pretty fun one. Old lady driving her rascal into the flowing vat of lava. It was funny.
I liked I shouldn't say I liked it. I was intrigued by the one that kept showing breasts, women's breasts, and I thought it was a bra commercial.
Yeah.
And at the end, it was like 6 million women get breast cancer every year. And I thought, well, gosh, that's not the message I was thinking they were.
I think it was a reminder that everyone needs to pay more attention to the breasts, men and women alike.
Yeah, but
a proper appreciation.
The one woman at the end, she was showing her cleavage and got upset with the guy for looking at it. Well, I thought that was the reason.
That was the whole point. I think we all need to come together as a country and properly appreciate.
What about your Hellman's mayonnaise commercial? Did you like that?
Oh, I did like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. But everybody's getting old. Everybody's getting old. Meg Ryan, Billy Crystal. Yeah.
I'll have what she's having.
I'll have what she's having. It has been one of the worst kept secrets in the NFL. While a half dozen other head coaching vacancies were being filled, the Saints dragged their feet. And then when New Orleans did nothing after the conference championship games 2 weeks ago, it became apparent that the Saints were waiting on Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore to finish his Super Bowl journey. Well, now ESPN is reporting that Moore will indeed be named head coach of the Saints. Nobody is talking with the team. Nothing is official, Beam, but after last night, Kellen Moore should feel pretty comfortable coaching in the dome down there.
Yeah, and I did see Nick Sirianni on the podium, too. Tried to woo him to stay, so I know it's not official, but seems like the head coach of the Eagles knows that that's probably going to be a situation in which you're losing the offensive coordinator. He did a really good job, right? I mean, that is a unbelievably good put-together roster. Like, it's top to bottom. Their defense is fantastic. Their offense, as we know.
Are you talking about the Saints?
I'm talking about I'm talking about the Eagles.
Well, I mean, the Saints roster might be a reason that you give a little second thought to that if you're Kellen Moore. Hey, do you really want to walk away from this? I think, Ben Johnson thought about that a year ago. Could there be better options in a year's time?
Right situation didn't open for him. Saints have been
a disaster.
Yeah, they've just been not very good over. When was the last time they made the playoffs? Like a 2020, I think.
Peyton's still there, I guess. Sean Payton, although he had some rough years at the end, too.
Yeah, he did. I want to say it was the COVID year. I want to say it was 2020 was the last time that they made the playoffs. But yeah, they've just been kind of toiling down in mediocrity there for a while. But hey, the good news for Kellen Moore is that he doesn't have to go very far. I mean, he gets to sleep in New Orleans, then wake up, and I'm sure they'll have their presser a little bit later on this week introducing him. He's been a name that we have known for a while. He's going to get a head coaching job, and kind of look at what he's done at his stops along the way. And yeah, I mean, anytime you have an active head coach winning his first Lombardi trophy, opining for you to stay to a big national audience like that, people are going to pay attention. But yeah, Kellen Moore, he's the last coaching hire in this cycle. So now we can move through. Staffs are going to be filled out rapidly, as we found out here in Buckeye Land a couple of weeks ago with the departures of Justin Fry and Chip Kelly. But yeah, that's the last one down. What was it in total? Seven coaching vacancies?
I think it was 7.
Yeah, 7. So that was the kind of the last domino to fall. But that seems like it had been pre-cooked for a couple of weeks with Kellen Moore.
Yeah, and he's earned it. I mean, it's pretty remarkable run through this profession for him. And as you said, it seemed inevitable that he was going to get a chance to run his own ship. I don't know why you would choose the Saints out of all the other options out there, especially like I said, if you could stick around for one more year with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Maybe that gives you even more leverage the next time that the cycle starts spinning. But, he got the job that he wanted, and certainly he had a long time to debate where he wanted the next step to be. And New Orleans, there's worse places to live.
Well, that's true. I would have wanted the Chicago job myself.
No, you wouldn't have.
Of course I would. That's a very functional franchise, not dysfunctional.
Yeah, totally.
It has been a rough 3 years for Aaron Rodgers. In 2022, he was just 8-9 in his final season with the Packers, had the worst QBR in his NFL career by miles. So Green Bay let him move on. The Jets signed him. He missed the whole season in 2023 except for one series. And then this season, Rodgers' numbers, they weren't awful, 3,900 passing yards and 28 touchdowns, but he also threw 11 picks and was sacked 40 times. And now the Jets have seen enough. Rodgers flew to New Jersey last week to meet with the Jets' new GM and head coach and was informed that the team is going in another direction. Austin, do you think that Aaron Rodgers can still be a starter in this league? Because you know darn well he's not going to be a backup.
I don't know that I would want to plan or build around him if I was an NFL general manager. I think that he has the ability still, but given what the potential cap implications could be and the fact that you wouldn't be probably getting more than 2 seasons out of Aaron Rodgers, which is still asking a lot given the recent injury history, some of the performance decline. And as you mentioned, Shark, the numbers look fine. But I don't think anyone who watched the Jets was like, Aaron Rodgers has still got it. He's dealing. I mean, some of the stuff that was going on with him and Garrett Wilson throughout the year was like, there are other things involved with Aaron Rodgers and that go beyond just the age.
Like what?
I just his personality in some ways is not for everyone. I'm not saying my opinion on it one way or another, but there is a long-running history here, well before radio appearances, with his family and significant others. Like, it seems like it's difficult to deal with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I've never had to. It just seems like that might be the case, and that might make it difficult to find a landing space for him next year. Sure. I don't know what'll happen.
And I know that this is a hypothetical.
No, Bean.
All right.
No.
Okay.
I know what you're going to ask.
Okay. I won't ask it then.
He'd look good up there.
Give me Justin Fields.
I'm going to...
before he goes to the Jets.
What about Aaron Rodgers in a Steelers uniform?
Sure. Yeah. Go for it.
The problem, non-guaranteed $37.5 million was due $23.5 million on the cap. The Jets are going to be left with $49 million in dead money over 2 years if he's designated for release post June 1. In that case, they'd have to carry over his cap number of 23.5. They can convert a bunch of different things, However, June 1 scenario, there would be a $35 million cap charge in 2026. So I don't know. There's also a March date in here that accelerates things and like roster bonuses. So we're going to find out in the next month or not whether or not Aaron Rodgers, if he is going to play or if he decides to hang him up. But yeah, he can still throw a good ball. We know that. But is he the same player as he was 6 years ago? No.
What if he retires?
What do you mean?
Is that dead money still on the salary cap?
I don't know
how that works.
That's a really good question.
I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to do the Jets any favors.
I don't think that he will either.
But I mean, he had contemplated at the end of the season. It sounded like he hadn't made a decision.
Yeah, we'll find that out during the break. We'll answer that when we come back. And it was also a tough weekend locally for our teams in Central Ohio. That's next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, 70 westbound is still closed downtown. That closure stretches between 71 and 315. You'll have to make your way to 670 westbound to get around that. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan traffic.
At NJM Insurance, we like to think of ourselves as a symphony. We start with a foundation of doing the right thing. Then we layer in dedicated reps whose priority is you. Add in excellent discount programs. And last, but certainly not least, we put our policyholders first. And the reason we don't use jingles or mascots is because it's just not us. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Rodeo fans, saddle up for the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo, February 15th at Nationwide Arena. Come early for autographs, pony rides, and more. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. It's the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo.
Scotty Vegas here, offering you a sure bet. If you choose Awaken 180, you will succeed. We all did. I dropped my 35 pounds. Austin dropped his 50, and Beam is almost down 52. What's stopping you? A sure bet at Awaken180weightloss.com.
Get ready, Columbus. The powerful and reliable 2025 Toyota Tundra SR can be yours for just $349 a month. That's right. Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Drive home in a truck built for adventure, performance, and power, all for an unbeatable price. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Visit Germain Toyota of Columbus today and experience the Tundra for yourself. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
$3,999 down, 39-month lease, plus tax, title, and fees. No security deposit required with approved credit. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
Guys, let's talk about something real. Ever had a bad experience in the bedroom that totally threw you off? It messes with your head, your confidence, and suddenly it's all you can think about. Next thing you know, you're avoiding trying altogether because the fear of failure is just too much. That's where Columbus Men's Clinic comes in. For over a decade, their medical providers have been helping men overcome ED and providing hope even when the pills and other treatments have failed. Their proven personalized treatments have some of the highest success rates out there, with results that bring back your confidence and connection. It's important to get your ED treated now so that it doesn't get harder to treat down the road. Columbus Men's Clinic has treatments that online pharmacies only dream about. Tonight is your night for intimacy and connection. Call Columbus Men's Clinic today at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Your consultation is discreet and could be the start of something incredible. 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. And let's make tonight unforgettable. Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One thing we keep hearing here in town, Wilson, is that the cost of Pella windows actually pleasantly surprises most people.
Pleasantly surprised?
You get the Pella next level quality and looks, but we also have 5 different lines to fit most budgets.
Our customers are almost always surprised, but it's never pleasant. Is there such thing as like angrily surprised?
Price is a little high.
Oh no, they're a lot high.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Valentine's Day is a good deal sweeter when you shop at Meijer. This week, select bagged Valentine's Day candy is buy one, get one 50% off. Fresh from Meyer chocolate dipped strawberries are just $9.99. Certified Angus beef New York strip steak is $11.99 a pound. And our floral department is overflowing with beautiful fresh Valentine's Day bouquets and flower arrangements. Count on Meyer to bring more from the heart to Valentine's Day. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store, in the Meyer app, and online at Meyer.com.
Some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a huge inheritance. But a phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard for a new one on us. Just trade in any phone from our top brands with select unlimited plans. $829.99 purchase with new smartphone line on select unlimited plans. Minimum $90 per month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Less $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Trade-in terms apply. Payoff phone requires smartphone purchase and port-in with new smartphone line on select plan. Must provide most recent bill showing payoff amount of eligible phone. Additional terms apply.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports.
Good morning. I'm Bart the Shark. Micah Parrish and John Mobley combined for 51 points at Nebraska, but the rest of the Buckeyes scored just 20 in a 79-71 loss to the Cornhuskers. OSU blew an 8-point early second-half lead and dropping to 6-7 in the Big Ten. Nebraska is also 6-7. Parrish scored a career-high 30 points for the Buckeyes. Bryce Williams tossed in 24 for Nebraska. In his NFL career, Patrick Mahomes was 11-0 in domes. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio was 0-8 all-time against Mahomes and the Chiefs. Both those streaks were snapped in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Fangio's defense forced 3 turnovers and sacked Mahomes 6 times in Philadelphia's 40-22 win against Kansas City. The Eagles win their second Super Bowl in 8 years. The Sports Center is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss with a 98% customer satisfaction rating and thousands of 5-star reviews. The choice is clear. Awaken180weightloss.com.
If Bobby and Beamer aren't talking about it, it's not worth your time anyway. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour 2 of the program for us on a Reaction Monday. Austin Ward continues to hang out with us. You in Monday and Tuesday, and then heading off to the city of Los Angeles.
That's
Wednesday?
right. Well, we won't really be in L.A. proper. We're heading down to Anaheim, to Mickey's place for a lovely vacation, overdue. So you can bet your bottom dollar that Ohio State will finalize its coaching staff while I'm at Disneyland.
100% they will.
I popped out of the hotel room in the French Quarter, Port Orleans last year around this time to talk about Bill O'Brien. It was like 10:30, just wandering around out there in Disney World Hotel to talk about an offensive coordinator who was only going to be here for like a week and then leave. But the rest of that work is already done. And either way, we can all work remotely now.
No, it's fine. You'll be good. Just different time, actually. So
Yeah.
if they announce it at 10 a.m. or the reports are out there, it'll be 7.
Won't even be at the park yet.
Yeah, you guys will be good. You'll be live for your 7:30 appearance on Friday. It's going to be just fine.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, the largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard in Central Ohio. And everything you need for the master griller.
Man, it was a tough weekend, sports-wise. Rangers clipped the Jackets 4-3. Good news for the Jackets. Got 2 weeks off.
They need it.
Which, yes, they do need it. Big time. It's just
one after the other. Cannot stay healthy.
Can't stay healthy, and then they had a nice little 4-game slide heading into the break as well. So that comes at the perfect time for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Like I said, I mean, they lost 4-3 against the Rangers. We'll talk to Bobby Mack coming up here around 7:17 this morning. They resumed their season with the Blackhawks on the 22nd. So 12 days from now, they get back going against the Chicago Blackhawks. USC smoked the women's basketball team on Saturday night, too. 84-63 final in that. 0-2 on the LA swing. We were talking about last week, Austin, if you could get a 1-1 split, how that would be very nice. That wasn't the case.
No.
Held it close, forced UCLA into 23 turnovers, and then everything that was kind of going right, you weren't making any shots either against UCLA, which was tough. I think they shot 29% from the field that game. Everything just kind of went wrong against USC. So 0-2 on that swing. They got Minnesota coming up at home on Thursday. So back to the friendly confines. I would assume that they got back safely yesterday. And then the men's basketball program yesterday lost as well. Ohio State did. Went to Nebraska, 8-point lead in the second half. Poof, that was gone. Nebraska 79, men's basketball program 71. Home against Washington, Wednesday, 8:30. That is a weird time for a game. Midweek at 8:30 at home.
And throw in the opponent. It's all weird. I think it's stranger to make this adjustment to the expanded Big Ten in basketball. When you're talking about a West Coast swing for the women, USC and UCLA. These are conference games in February. What? No, that can't be right. Washington coming in midweek to play the Buckeyes in hoops. No, that. What are we doing?
That doesn't seem correct.
It was easier, I think, to wrap your mind around it for football. You got a week, and that's just one after the other. And you're like, oh, well, yeah.
One game out there.
Yeah, Michigan, Purdue, Washington. What? No, that can't be right.
That's not real.
What are they doing here?
Not a real game.
That's not. Why are we playing a Pac-12 game in the middle of the week in February?
Here was Deeves on how the 8-point lead vanished in the second half.
I think there was a stretch there where, we missed some jumpers, and they got some second chance points, after we had got some stops, and then that kind of started a little bit of separation. Thought our guys fought really, really hard. A few too many perimeter shots. Would have liked to just us be a little more forceful in the paint and give ourselves a chance to get to the free throw line a little bit more. But they hit some timely ones. I think you got to give them credit. And they made us pay when they got second chance shots.
Yeah, they did. It's not the end of the world. It did seem that the Maryland victory in the come from behind fashion was great, and it could still be a catapult. And we were talking to Deebs last week, and you can go find that on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast from. And he was adamant that Nebraska was a very, very tough place to go and play, and it sounded good. It looked good on TV, and yeah, it just kind of crumbled down the stretch a little bit. Nebraska's still a Big Ten basketball program. They played well. I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but yeah, you blew an 8-point lead in the second half. Didn't go according to plan. You did have a couple of guys, and Micah Parrish and John Mobley combined for 51 points. You fell in love with the 3-point shot. You lose the game.
It's hard to win on the road in the Big Ten. Again, that sounds like an excuse or a justification. That's just a simple fact of the matter. Conference games this time of year going to be a challenge. And if you play well enough to build an 8-point lead on the road, I think it's not asking too much to finish out and close out a game, because if you are going to make a run into March, those are the ones that you have to have on your resume. Those are the games, the experience that you have to have, and understanding how to put opponents away in those situations. So, I think we mentioned that after Maryland. Is this the one that really solidifies them? Can they take that and build on it? Is there some momentum? Can this be the one that propels them into a real push and climb up and comfortably make the NCAA tournament? And, to follow it up with that performance late in the game against Nebraska, certainly that's not what you want, and it's not the most encouraging sign. Is it the death knell for the season? Absolutely not. There's still there's enough road ahead. Not a lot. It's starting to shrink a little bit, but I look at this and the roller coaster with this team. Well, now they look like someone who could win a game or two in March. Now I don't think they can even be in the tournament.
Even within the 40 minutes of the game.
You just don't know what you're going to get. And I think that's why I'm still in this spot where, to me, they don't look like a tournament team. But they have moments where you just latch on to the hope, which is, I think, a good sign for the coming years for the Diebler era, and also like a little bit of cause for concern as you go through this, with a first-time head coach.
It is big 3 games for them. 3-game home stretch, and then they do the LA double swing at UCLA and USC. Then they're home against Nebraska. Last game of the year is at Assembly Hall against Indiana. Super Bowl last night, 40-22. Eagles just straight up dominated the Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts, key to the game. They knew they had to pass early.
It was just something that kind of came. We just was able to execute. And I think the main thing I'll point to is you being able to find ways to win in multiple ways. We've been able to be dominant on the ground. We've been able to be efficient in the pass game and do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. And I think over the course of our year, you guys have heard me say, just because we don't doesn't mean we can't. when you hear a statement like that, I think it always comes down to what is your mission and why are you doing this? I'm doing it to win. I do it to win.
For as good as the Philadelphia Eagles defense last night, Jalen Hurts was equally as good. I mean, he was 17 of 22, 221, 2 touchdowns, did have the 1 pick, but on the ground, Austin, anytime the Chiefs were able to bring blitzes and actually try to get home, either Jalen Hurts was escaping through the middle of the pocket and ripping apart the Chiefs with his legs, or he was finding seams over the top. Like, that deep ball is pretty good. And you take off the big ball, too, that they got taken away with an OPI at the very beginning of the game. He was awesome last night. There's no other way to break that down. He was great. That's why he's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, and one of those jobs of championship quarterbacks is when there are free rushers, you have to account for that, whether that is getting the football out quickly, the right read, a hot read, a check down, or making them miss and using your legs. Jalen Hurts did that last night, and you mentioned the times that there was all this conversation about Spagnuolo's blitzes and dialing them up at the right time and how they were able to get to Josh Allen at the end of the AFC Championship game. Jalen Hurts made those plays, whether that was with his arm or primarily extending, beating blitzes with his legs and getting down there and getting easy first downs and just really shaking out chunk plays up the Chiefs. With all that focus on his legs, though, the throw to Devonta Smith, boy, was every bit as good as the one that people are raving about from Mahomes in garbage time there. It was like, oh, well, why didn't that happen the rest of the game for the Chiefs? Well, because he was under relentless pressure. Jalen Hurts was also under pressure, but he did not blink an eye. And whether that was with his feet or with his arms, he was a deserving MVP, even if I think that the defensive line and the defensive front for Philadelphia deserve way more praise than even we're giving them right now.
Yeah, that Chiefs defense was gassed, too. I mean, the Eagles held the ball for almost 37 minutes.
It's pretty good. I mean, it was the championship formula. We've been saying it for months with Philadelphia. You don't have to throw the football because you have an elite defense and a dominant rushing attack. And even their rushing attack wasn't as good as it has been last night. It was
good enough.
It was good enough to win the game. That formula still works.
Jackets couldn't have the break come at a better time. Play-by-play voice of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Bob McElligott. He joins us to talk about where they stand coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are watching I-70 westbound shut down downtown. That closure stretches between 71 and 315. Expect to use 670 westbound for the remainder of the morning. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic sponsored by Great Lakes Kia. Brand new Kias for less than lunch. From just $5 a day. Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia. Visit greatlakeskia.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with the sound of freshness, the sound of sizzle, the sound of savings. With new low prices on hundreds of your favorite produce items, deals for days on over 1,000 items throughout the store, plus weekly sales and My Perks for even more savings at the pump. Surround yourself with savings every time you shop. At your neighborhood Giant Eagle. Visit gianteagle.com for details.
Buckeye fans, it's time for date night with Ohio State women's basketball. This Thursday, February 13th, join us at the Shot to watch the Buckeyes take on Minnesota. Don't miss out on themed games, unforgettable fan experiences, and the ultimate Buckeye traditions. Buy your tickets and gear up for game day at ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
How'd you like to wipe out all that credit card debt to start the new year off right? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Stop getting fleeced by the credit card companies. If you own your home, go to AFLcash.com now. Advantage First Lending can help you unlock that equity and get you tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's AFLcash.com. You can pay off all your credit cards and other high-interest debt super fast. Consolidate all your bills into one low monthly payment. AFLcash.com can help you tap into your home's equity to give you some serious cash so you can go into 2025 with less stress and more confidence. Get the cash you need from Advantage First Lending now. Most homeowners don't even need an appraisal. How great is that? Get on solid financial footing. Go to AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. 844-394-CASH.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Here at The Fan, we give you 14 hours of live and local programming every day. We care about you. We live and work in your community. Except Bo Bishop. He won't tell us where the hell he is. Your live and local station. Except Bo. The Fan.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, it'll be sunny out there, but cold. Today's high will be around 38. We are tracking a disturbance that will bring snow showers across southern Ohio tomorrow. We may get a few flurries. That's pretty much it with a high of 38. And then another storm could bring a mixed bag of rain and snow by Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Prime Sports is the official sports book of Morning Juice.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
The Fan. Miss a minute of the show?
Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Morning Juice and subscribe.
This is Morning Juice.
Going along here, Reaction Monday edition of the program. Austin Ward filling in for Robert. What do we do every single Monday at this time?
Morning Juice presents Talking Jackets.
That's Boone Jenner along the end boards, and he stuffs it behind Peter Mrazek for the score.
Sponsored by Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Yeah, that's the hotline, checking with our guy. He is play-by-play voice of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Bob McElligott. Bobby Mack, thanks so much for the time. Always appreciate it. What do you have in store here for the break? Are we going anywhere on vacation? What are we doing?
No, not doing a thing.
Doesn't that sound great? You just hanging for the next couple of weeks?
That's right.
That come at a better time of the schedule right now for you or the Blue Jackets with everything going on health-wise with them?
Well, for me, I'll just be bored for 2 weeks, but sure, that's not true. I do have some stuff to do. My wife has plenty of stuff for me to do around here.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
Yeah, exactly. For the Blue Jackets, this could not come at a better time. I mean, it's been sputtering the last 4 games here with only 1 point in the last 4, and that's mainly because of the injuries that have hit this team here in the last week. So it's a good time to have 2 weeks off, get some guys healthy or closer to being healthy. I expect that Boone Jenner's going to come back after the break and get back into the lineup for the first time all year, and and then we'll see what happens with, it gives Monahan 2 more weeks, Marchenko 2 more weeks. It'll be good in that regard.
Bob, it's always a tough spot for teams to be in when you're dealing with these injuries because you don't, if you're in the room, you don't want to use it as an excuse. You don't want to blame it. You don't want to put too much focus and attention on it. But when you're outside, if you're just sitting here like we are, like that's a justification for what's going on here. It's a difficult balancing act, I think, maybe for Dean, for the guys in the room, because clearly it is taking a toll on this team as the injuries have mounted.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And you're right. The players are all about the next man up mentality. And, I think they've been really lucky, and maybe lucky isn't the word to use, but I mean, you look at the injuries that they've suffered this year and the way that they've kind of brushed them aside and just, especially the Monahan injury, that should have been devastating for this team. But yet Adam Fantilli moved up and took his place, and they really haven't missed a beat in the absence of Monahan. One thing they have lost is, a guy that can go out and win the majority of his faceoffs. That's become a pretty big issue here too over the course of these last couple of games. But Fantilli has played so well that you didn't feel the impact of that injury the way that you normally would. And that's kind of what's been going on all year. You lose Boone Jenner before the season starts, you should be devastated with that. But guys have done the job. So now all of a sudden you just get multiple injuries at the same time and of key players. And so now is where you really feel it, where it really hurts, because, sometimes you just can't cover it all up.
I know that they've lost 4 games in a row, Bob, and you had just mentioned it, going back to the weird game last week against Dallas. Then you go to Buffalo to finish up the road trip. You lose that game. Had a nice little comeback effort, ultimately fall short. And then the last 2 really sting, I feel like, for Blue Jackets fans. You have the overtime loss against Utah, and then the last couple of minute goal from the Rangers on Saturday night. You feel like you were in a situation to maybe get 4 points, and instead you only come away with 1.
Yeah, that was really disappointing. I don't know, the Utah Hockey Club, I don't know why they struggle with that team as much as they do. And I asked Jared Bull this after the game, and he said, well, they're a really good team. Yeah, I know, I get it, but they're not the best team you're playing on the schedule. And that's just the way this league is with the parity. But they just can't figure out that team. But they did get it to overtime, and they did get the point. But that Rangers game, you're right, that one really stung, because it looks like you're going to go to overtime, and you don't even want to do that with that team because they're chasing you. You don't want to give them a point, but you get late in the third period, it's still tied. Okay, you'll take it. You'll take your chances in the overtime, and then it's just an unfortunate turnover that was created by good play by a veteran guy on the Rangers and Vincent Trocheck. I mean, you've got the rookie Denton Matejchuk back there for the Blue Jackets. He's trying to make the right play, and Trocheck just gets a little bit better position on him and causes a turnover, and then it leads to a goal. So yeah, that one really hurt. But then again, you're in the playoffs right now if you're the Columbus Blue Jackets, and you've got a Rangers team that knows that they're in the playoffs, and a lot of their guys have been there before. They had lost the night before at home to Pittsburgh, so they were not going to quit pushing for 60 minutes. So that's what you're going to face night in and night out, and sometimes you're going to come out on the good side of it. But that wasn't one of those nights.
I think the fact that it does sting, as a Blue Jackets fan, to watch and see this 4-game losing streak and that it actually means something is significant, because I think if you had told any of us in Columbus in September, Jackets are going to go into this 2-week break and they're going to be a point out of the playoffs, you'd take that in a heartbeat. That was not my expectation for this year. So I don't know how much of a surprise it's come to you, Bob, but that's still a positive step, that you can actually feel something in February about a 4-game losing streak, and it's not just disappointment. You could have been completely ambivalent towards it. Who cares? This season is about rebuilding. This has been way more than that for Columbus.
No, it has been, and you're right about all of that. And as a fan, yeah, you would have taken that deal at the beginning of the season because nobody thought that would be the case. But I think what's even more important is this isn't just a disappointment for the fans or for you and I that are watching from the outside. This is a huge disappointment to the guys that are inside the room. This is huge for the guys that are playing the game, because if you think that you and I want them to get to the playoffs, these guys really want to get to the playoffs. They are sick and tired of losing. The guys that have been here for a while, the new guys that are coming in, a lot of them, they're just used to winning anyway. So, those guys are more upset than we are, which is a great thing, because they're the ones that have the opportunity to change the situation coming out of the break. We can just sit and watch. So, it is a good thing. And look, everything about what's going on with this team is good for this team, no matter what the ultimate outcome is, because there are young players that are in this for the first time. They're learning what it's taking night in and night out if you want to be a good team, if you want to compete, if you want to go to the playoffs, if you want to have a chance to win the Stanley Cup. So everything that's going on is good. And don't forget, you got a trade deadline coming up on March the 7th, and Don Waddell has already said that he's looking to add a forward if he can. If he can find the right guy at the right price and the right term, he's going to do it because – a couple of weeks ago, if you would ask me, what would you do? And Brandon, maybe you did ask me, what would you do with this team?
Yeah.
I would be tempted to say I wouldn't do a thing because there's good chemistry and these guys have something going on. But when you suffer these kind of injuries, I think now you kind of owe them a chance to get into the playoffs, and you took some of the weapons away. So if you can find one to get for them and get back to where you've been for the last couple of months, then I think you try to do that.
He is play-by-play voice of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Bob McElligott, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. And I'm glad that you mentioned the trade deadline, March 7th, I believe, Bob. Yeah. So we're a little bit less than a month away from that. And I know Don Waddell over the weekend said that exactly what you just said right there, looking to add depth maybe for a forward. Let me ask you this question, though. 26 games remaining. The Columbus Blue Jackets get into the playoffs after this big break, of course. 12 days left until they play another one here. The Columbus Blue Jackets get into the playoffs if they do blank.
Well, to me, I think there's a couple of things they have to do. I think there were some prominent things in the Saturday game specifically. I mentioned faceoffs. They got to get better at winning more faceoffs and getting possession of the puck early, at the beginning of the shift. They've got to get better at that. But I think they really get into the playoffs if they just continue, as Dean says, and it's boring, and I'm sure he's told you guys a million times, we've got to play our brand of hockey. If they can continue to do that and frustrate teams and be patient and wait for their opportunities night in and night out, because, look, if you think the Rangers game was hard before the break, wait till we come out of the break. Yeah. And now everybody's really zeroing in. All this big group that's bunched up in the Eastern Conference hoping to get the last two playoff spots. Everybody's going to start to tighten the screws, and everything's going to become more defensive. There's not going to be many more wide-open games. So it's going to be a game of patience and wait for your opportunities and capitalize on them. And the Blue Jackets just have to keep staying the course with that. They can't try to force things that aren't there because there's not going to be much there the rest of the way because teams are going to be preparing for the playoffs.
Does that play into their favor, though, Bob, the way that they're playing this year? Just that kind of grindy, gritty game?
Yeah, I think so. And I know they've had a whole bunch of games where they've scored, 6 goals in a game, and that's been all fun and all that stuff. But it also tells them that they know they have that ability, right? You're probably not going to get many chances to use that. But the point is, when you have the opportunity to get 2 or 3, you've got to get those 2 or 3 and then just settle back into that defensive system you've been playing. So, yeah, that's a good point, Brandon. I think that, it does play into what has been their strengths this year.
Bobby Mack, always appreciate the time. Thanks for jumping on with us here this morning. Enjoy your week off, and then we'll check in again next week for your second week off, all right?
Yeah, we'll see if I'm still here or not, or if I just got, if I flew the coop because there was too much to do around here.
See you, Bob. Have a great week.
All right, thanks, guys.
There you go. It's Bob McElligott, play-by-play voice of your Columbus Blue Jackets, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. What's in store for the Buckeyes on the coaching front this week? That's coming up in 2 minutes. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic
from the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching I-70 westbound shut down between 71 and 315. That closure is expected to last through the remainder of the morning. You'll have to use 670 westbound through that stretch. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Care Heating and Cooling.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to truegreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Hey, it's D. Miller. Guys, let's talk about getting back to your best. If you lack energy, muscle mass, feel moody, or have low libido, it could be low testosterone. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer. Don't settle for a standard dosage TRT program. I learned about the personalized treatment at Low T Center and the results you can expect with customized TRT. And for current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 credit when you refer a new patient. Go to lowtcenter.com to book an appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medication. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Panic and passion. Is that a motivational quote or the title of an adult romance novel? You're listening to Morning Juice.
Coming up 1 hour away from right now, Joshua Perry, he's going to join the program, talk some ball with him. What he thought of last night's Super Bowl. A little teaser for that. He tweeted last night, sometime around maybe 9 o'clock, the yawning emoji. He was done with it.
Well, the game was over.
It was over at halftime.
I was still enjoying it. I liked seeing the Chiefs suffer.
I like watching good defense. And last night had all kinds of that.
I was on the edge of my seat wondering if the Eagles were ever going to actually blitz.
They didn't.
Didn't need to.
Didn't have to.
We're
do
good.
It. Just 4 dudes all night long.
Turns out that's a pretty good recipe to beat anyone, let alone Patrick Mahomes.
If you have the 4 dudes.
I mean, they built a defense designed to do that.
They did.
And then they had a bunch of playmakers flying around in the secondary. Cooper DeJean, all the things that we've talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, making that break on the football and taking it back to the house.
The very next throw, Patrick Mahomes, boom, pick again.
Just remarkable performance. I know that it's more fun to have one of the classics. You can get some Super Bowl overtimes or a late kick and have, a much more exhilarating party when it's down to the stretch and everybody engaged. And probably that wasn't the same vibe in the living room last night.
A couple of years ago, right? The 38-35.
Take it down to the wire. People really standing up and cheering. Mm-hmm. But you have to tip your hat to a championship performance. That was what that was.
Yeah, absolutely it was.
In every conceivable way. The Eagles put it together on the biggest stage.
Weren't scared to be great.
Can't be.
Can't be scared to be great.
Not if you want to hoist that trophy.
Yeah, and they sacked Patrick Mahomes 6 times in doing so. So it was a great job out of them. But yeah, Joshua Perry yawning emoji. He's coming up in 1 hour's time. I'm sure he watched the entire game.
He was sleepy, Got that kid at home.
Hey, man, it happens. Sometimes you get tired.
Yeah.
In our advanced age, you get tired. You got to shut things down a little bit earlier than usual. What do you think is going to happen with the Buckeye coaching staff here this week? You're leaving for Los Angeles/Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. That's where you're going. Out to Disneyland out there, not Disney World.
Nope.
You have guaranteed that Ohio State finalizes their coaching staff this week when you're gone.
It just feels inevitable to me. A, because they're running out of room on the staff. So, Ryan Day has already... Whether they have announced it or not, Tyler Bowen coming in to coach the offensive line for Ohio State from Virginia Tech. You got another experienced coordinator at the Power 4 level who is moving over to join Ohio State and chase a championship, and he's going to replace Justin Fry. Brian Hartline is going to be the offensive coordinator for Ohio State.
What do you think that value this year was for Brian Hartline?
I think
Chip Kelly.
I think it was huge. I talked to Brian Hartline for an episode of The Notebook. I believe it was before the Rose Bowl, and it was funny to me because think back 2 years ago at this time, Ohio State and Ryan Day's ready. He wants to give up play calling. He's fighting it. Mm-hmm. He's promoting Brian Hartline. They give him a raise. They're going to give him an opportunity heading into spring ball to call some plays and see if that works. And then Ryan Day pretty quickly pulls the reins and takes that right back.
The question of the offseason that year is, will Brian Hartline be on the sidelines or will he be up in the box?
And how's he going to be as a play caller? Yeah. And really the question was, will Ryan Day let him be the play caller? And I think it was a combination of factors that maybe, Ryan Day wasn't totally comfortable with that idea quite yet. Brian Hartline maybe not fully ready for that. Still learning how to put everything together in the meeting room, because if you're asking him to dial up a passing attack and work with, not just wide receivers, but quarterbacks and schemes, like that's his forte. He's been doing that his whole life, and he knows that like better than just about anybody.
Yeah, just look.
But he was not a running back, okay? And if you're asking him what he wants to do, he's going to want to throw it 50 to 60 times, and that's not the entirety of the job responsibility, and that would not be productive if there wasn't balance for the Ohio State offense. So I won't speak for him, but I did have that conversation with him about where he's been progressing and developing as a coach from 2 years ago to a year ago, and then what he learned from a brief experience with Bill O'Brien, but then a full year with Chip Kelly and another person to, it sounds dismissive, and I don't want it to come off this way. Like, he is still young in his coaching career, so having other voices, having other mentors, having experience learning from other veterans who've been doing this for a long time is valuable for him. And
I think you even look at Ryan Day, that it's been valuable for him and a huge reason why Ohio State won the national championship. Not only is because Chip Kelly is a great play caller, but because that was his mentor, and he learned a lot from him this year. He's been there. He's done that.
There's no doubt about that. And I think that the credit to Brian Hartline is that he could have been frustrated. So I was supposed to have this opportunity 2 years ago. I was supposed to have this opportunity a year ago, and Ryan Day hired two other people to come in and do that and take the play calling responsibilities. Like, when is it going to be my turn? He could have been selfish about all that. He's not been. And I think that is a tribute to Brian Hartline and not something that we've maybe given him enough credit for. And I think when you got to this point now and you're at a juncture, Ryan Day's at this point, you don't want Brian Hartline to leave and take that experience and get that experience somewhere else, because there would be some short-term damage that would be incredibly detrimental at wide receiver. And you may not have a chance to get him back at some point. If he goes somewhere else and it works out like gangbusters the way you think that it might, he might not be returning to Ohio State anytime soon. He might be becoming a head coach somewhere else. He might be going to the NFL level at some point. You don't know. So I think that if he's not ready, we're going to find out in August. But if you think that all the pieces are in place, that he's taken this time and learned from Chip Kelly, that he's learned from Ryan Day, that he knows, how to put it, maybe he will work together with Tyler Bowen to put together, the run game coordination stuff that makes sense for everyone. Like, I don't know anyone who's ever said Brian Hartline doesn't know ball. Like, he's always known it. Mm-hmm. I think the question is, and you'll never know for sure until you actually get into that seat and it's 3rd and 5 and you have to have the right play. Like, at some point you're going to have to experience that. And I know that the answer is, well, you could look outside the program and someone who's been doing that for years. That is what Ohio State did last time. But if you're also not developing your coaches so that they're ready for that opportunity when it arises, you're doing them a disservice. I think that the same is true on the defensive side with Matt Guerreri and James Laurinaitis. And you want these guys to be able to progress in their careers and not have to look outside the program to do that. That this is the same way as like recruiting and not trying to rely solely on the portal. I think that some of that is true for the coaching staff as well. So, Brian Hartline, I think that's going to be a huge talking point going into March next month. But to your initial question, they still have to fill that spot on defense.
Yep.
There have been names that have been, talked about and floated out there. Randy Bates, I did not think that it sounded like he was telling people at Pitt a week ago that was not real, that he wasn't looking to move and wasn't going to be going to Ohio State. Joe Cullen, the defensive line coach for Kansas City with the Chiefs, had been talked about. I don't think that there's a ton of traction with that at this point. So I don't know who that person will be, just like Bill O'Brien was a major surprise to me a year ago when I went on vacation.
Yeah, that was a pretty big surprise when it was like, oh, Bill O'Brien, offensive coordinator. Whoa.
Well, and look, what Ryan Day initially, what was the big question with this first-time head coach? He doesn't know a ton of people. The black book of coaches that he could be in communication with, it was pretty easy to figure out who he was going to hire. When he needed an offensive line coach the last time around, I knew within 3 seconds that Justin Fry was going to be the person to do that. It was a good hire, but it was also one that made a ton of sense and was a pretty obvious one. Well, as Ryan Day's done this more, Sorry, but he has met more people. He has had more interviews. He's had chances to expand the pool of candidates. And so that led to a situation like a year ago with Bill O'Brien and then with Carlos Loughlin, where they weren't immediately the most obvious choice. Ryan Day took his time and he got those things right. And it makes it harder to build like the, big boards of candidates because if you don't know who the legitimate ones are, what's the point of just throwing names and trying to link them together? I think that Ryan Day has gotten way better at this part of the job and also at keeping some of it secret.
And I know that you had just kind of alluded to this. And I know that Ohio State will always be Ohio State, and it's still a desirable destination if you're a coach and you have an opportunity to come here just because of the logo. But you get a coach who treats young coaches the way that he treats young coaches and gives them opportunities like he's doing with a James, like he's doing with a McElligott, like he continues to do with a Brian Hartline, and then elevating them. Your desirable destination meter goes all the way up if you're a young guy getting into the business, or you've been around the business and say, okay, position spot opens up, coordinator spot, whatever it may be. You come here, you're going to be developed as a coach. Like, that's a great thing to have. And you mentioned it, like the Rolodex only continues to get bigger from that. And I know that recruiting gets all the headlines and it's about, the Jimmies and the Joes and not about the X's and those. And that is very true. But there is a good point to be made about developing your own guys. And that seems like what Ryan Day is continuing to do, at least for right now.
And that's not to say that in-house promotions are risk-free.
Sure.
They're not all.
We've seen them go awry before.
Ohio State has seen that. And again, that goes back to the development of Ryan Day himself now into 7 years as the head coach. Because, we don't have to name the names of some guys who had in-house promotions at Ohio State and they did not work out. And, they had to correct some of that at this time a year ago when they made a couple changes, primarily with the special teams role and how they wanted to align the entirety of the coaching staff. So it's not like, well, you should just keep doing that. And if you can't develop your coaches, just start back over and recruit more. It's hard. I'm not saying that there is one size-fits-all approach that's going to work for every position and every situation. I think this year is a little bit unique in that you are coming off of a national championship, and I will never say it because of the standard is the standard at Ohio State that it's not a rebuild. It is always a reload. But do you have to go out and put the same? Did you need a veteran play caller at the same way for this version of Ohio State that you maybe did a year ago, or is this situation different, or is the makeup of the roster? If you have a Jeremiah Smith and your wide receivers coach could be in line for a promotion, or you have Caleb Downs and the safeties coach could be in line for the next step up, does that make it more palatable? Does that make more sense than in other years? And I think,
yes,
in this case, the answer is definitely yes.
A lot to be juiced about coming off the weekend. We do that next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, 70 westbound downtown still shut down between 71 and 315. If you're coming in from the east side, you'll have to use Broad Street or 670 westbound to get around that. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from classic 3-cheese, pepperoni, or extreme meat pizza. Save big with the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 3/4/25. See app for full terms.
Hey, we've all been there. It starts as a nuisance, something you just put up with. It's that joint pain. It starts to hurt, impacting everything in your life, whether it's your knee, your back, your hip, your shoulder, walking, climbing stairs, even getting out of the car, moving around. It all hurts. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And I'm talking about that always there, that nagging pain, the stuff that I had when I got done playing professional football. It was in my knee. So what did I do? I went to see my friends at QC Kinetics. Their groundbreaking new treatments for arthritis pain provide long-term relief. The regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. They're right here, right in Columbus, Ohio, under the leadership of Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sport Medicine and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon. So here's what you want to do. Go to QCkinetics/Columbus, because I'm going to tell you this, it's not going to get better with time. You can't wish it away. They've got an office in Dublin, one in Gahanna, or give them a call at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus and save $90 on select sets of Ford Continental tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer ends February 15th. See store for details.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
When you bring Pella Columbus to your home, you get local, personal attention from an award-winning window and door crew.
Yep. Our crew is full of award winners, too.
Well, that's great, Wilson.
Yeah. Jerry alone has won the hot dog eating competition 2 years straight at the company picnic.
Well, that's not really the type of award I was talking about.
Still counts as an award.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. This February 21st and 22nd, honor the timeless wedding tradition and let Diamond Cellar's Blue Box be a part of your forever. Celebrate wedding weekend with buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and special no interest financing on engagement rings. Find your something blue and so much more at Diamond Cellar. February 21st and 22nd on Selmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
Rodeo fans, saddle up for the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo. February 15th at Nationwide Arena. Come early for autographs, pony rides, and more. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. It's the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo.
Your furnace could be costing you in repairs and high utility bills. Replace it with Logan AC and Heat Services. Enjoy 0% APR financing for 72 months. It's hard to stop a train. Schedule now. Logan Services.
Did you know we have another station? More Buckeyes, more play-by-play, more everything.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2 or listen on the Fan app.
Your home for almost too much football. The Fan.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback. You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Beam has a baby face. Bobby has soft hands. That should not stop you from listening to this show. This is Morning Juice.
All right, Reaction Monday edition of the program. Austin Ward filling in for Bob, who's down in Guantanamo Bay. And yes, I'm not being funny. He is really down in Guantanamo Bay.
He means what's got you juiced.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Hey, Ward Sports, it's Monday, pal. Got you fired up.
Happy Monday. Beautiful Monday.
Bang, bang, bird gang to all of you out there.
It's a Bill Landis celebration all across the streets of Columbus as he and the birds hoist the Lombardi.
Is he going to get a Warriors is closed today. I'm sure a celebratory Warriors is going to be somewhere in his near future.
I think he'll have a steak somewhere. There's no doubt. I was scrolling through Netflix, as I want to do. It's about a week ago.
Okay. About a week ago.
I like to fire up the docs on Netflix. That's what I like to get into.
Okay.
And they I don't know why I was prompted to push this button, but it was about
the WWE documentary?
It was about Nickelback.
Oh.
Okay. And how everyone
Chad Kroeger.
And how everyone hates them. And I would be one of those people. And said
that's gonna be it's too
like
cliche to hate them.
They're terrible, right? Like that's the thing. I would say, they're horrible. Like who likes
photograph?
Who likes Nickelback?
Shark.
Like, they're just, knockoff pop imitators, rock imitators. I say, well, it's that description for this doc, that describes me. I hate Nickelback. But why do I hate Nickelback? Maybe I'll give this a shot. I fired it up and I was like, these guys are good. Like, music sounds good. I know all these songs. I told Allie, she's like, why are you watching this? And I'm like, I think I know all of these songs, but I've never once downloaded or owned a single Nickelback record. I don't have it, but I like. There it is.
Is that your favorite?
No, it's not my favorite. Like, that's probably one of the worst songs that they have, which is why people hate Nickelback. And I was like, so I just watched it, and like they went, they had. I obviously like fell for the propaganda, pro Nickelback propaganda.
Yeah,
like,
you were a sheep.
What a journey for these guys in the small town Canada, and they're great friends and brothers, and dealt through injuries and adversity.
Are they from Flin Flon?
They're from down the road from Flin Flon.
Okay.
But then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should listen to Nickelback and form my own opinion. And so we're cooking in the kitchen. We're getting ready for the Super Bowl on Sunday, and I just fired up Nickelback live in Nashville for Allie, because that's how I like to make my opinions. Like, what does it sound like live? And I'm like, man, this album just absolutely crushes.
These dudes eat.
Who's hating Nickelback? And now I love Nickelback.
Look at you.
And Allie's like, she's listening to it. She's like, I knew you were going to put this on. And she's like, I don't really like rock or like, I don't like Metallica. And I'm like, well, this isn't Metallica. It's Nickelback. But she's like, this is good. And I'm like, yeah, it is. So we're a Nickelback house now.
Where's the tour? Are they touring this year?
They just pop up all over. They played at the Waste Management. They were out in Phoenix in the Bird's Nest last week. And now I was like, man, I missed the chance to go see the Backers and golf live. Just like,
is that what we're calling them?
I don't know. I just made that up.
Nickelbackers?
I don't know. But I'm a Nickelbacker. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, of course it is. Good for you.
But I gave it a shot.
Good for you.
It's like, you know what? Why do I hate him? Let's listen and find out. Turns out I don't. Turns out I love them.
They're not really close to here anytime soon.
They will be.
Hastings, Michigan in June of this year.
Well, I don't know that I would travel to go see Nickelback. But
if they were to come to you.
But if they popped in, well, maybe if they were at Blossom. If they were at Blossom, I'd go up there.
Yeah, that's not really traveling. It's a couple hours away.
That'd be worth it. But I'm telling you, live in Nashville, just fire it up. Or watch the doc.
I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch the doc.
Okay, I can't give you my password anymore. That's illegal.
Shark, can you give me your Netflix password?
I will, yeah.
Okay, thanks. Can you fire up some schlegs for us?
That's why you don't talk trash. Just go do your job. You suck. You're getting beat. Like, what are we talking about? I don't even know how to explain it.
Of course you don't. That is really interesting because I'm going to say in a span of 6 months, they went from a very popular band with just a string of hits to all of a sudden it just became the trend to hate everybody hated Nickelback. And I don't know where that groundswell of lack of support came from, but that
Zoo review
really was
on the YouTube chat said now do Creed. Do we feel like Creed happened?
I don't think Creed is as hated as Nickelback.
Well, they're certainly not as back. Creed is back and better than ever.
But it is an American band, and Nickelback. That's why they hate Drake, right? He's Canadian.
I don't think that's why they hate Drake. There's still some things we have to explain to you, Shark.
You didn't get our full synopsis this morning of the halftime show?
When we started the show, Austin talked about how the defense as a whole should have been named MVP of Super Bowl 59, and I totally agree. And listen, Jalen Hurts had a good game, 290-some rushing and receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, but that game was won with the defense. At least through 3 quarters, they could have made Sweat or Cooper DeJean or somebody from the defense. It was like the 85 Bears.
What do you think the odds were if we were to look on the Prime Sportsbook app? Higher odds of scoring their touchdown first on their birthday, Saquon Barkley or Cooper DeJean? What do you think those odds? What do you think those odds would have been?
How about that? Also, this is probably the last time I'll ever be able to play this, but it is Super Bowl weekend, and one of my favorite calls ever came from Super Bowl 55 on the radio.
Is this Kevin Harlan?
Kevin Harlan.
5:03 to go. Someone has run on the field. Some guy with a bra. And now he's not being chased. He's running down the middle of the 40. arms in the air in a victory salute. He's pulling down his pants. Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants. He's being chased to the 30. He breaks a tackle from a security guard. The 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5. He slides at the 1, and they converge on him at the goal line. Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man. And the players with hands on hips at the other end of the field are looking at him and shaking their head and saying, why, oh, why is this taking place in a Super Bowl?
One of the all-time great. Kevin Harlan is such a gem, whether he's doing NFL, college basketball. I could listen to him to read the phone book. He's really good, Beam.
How about Hubie Brown, too? Did you see that, Shark?
Yes.
I mean, talk
Very
about
emotional.
Voice of multiple generations,
Yep.
Hubie Brown. And, I was reading a little bit about him, and I didn't really know too much about Hubie Brown other than he called basketball games. So, I was firing up the wiki page, and the break that he had in his career is pretty remarkable when you look at it. Started... back in 1972?
Kareem was Lou Alcindor for the Milwaukee Bucks when he started coaching.
So he coached for the Kentucky Colonels in the ABA from 74 to 76, took the Hawks job from 76 to 81, then the Knicks all the way throughout the mid to late 80s, took a 15-year break, and then went back to the NBA, coached the Grizzlies in the mid-2000s, won NBA Coach of the Year in 1978 and in 2004. That's got to be the largest stopgap between anyone to ever win Coaches of the Year. So, seeing all that and his emotions had me pretty fired up last night. Also fired up, Willie had some sushi yesterday for lunch. You've never met a child who loves sushi more than him.
Amazing.
I showed Shark that video this morning of him. He's going to bankrupt me. He ate a roll.
How many rolls?
He at least one.
Oh, boy.
At least an entire roll of sushi by himself. And we get done, and I'm like, all right, are you good? More? More? I'm like, I can't afford. I cannot afford feeding you sushi every day. So that's got me fired up. Pretty good weekend that we had. The Eagles absolutely dismantled the Chiefs. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, 70 westbound is still closed downtown. This stretches between 71 and 315. If you're coming in from the east side, use Broad Street or 670 westbound to avoid this. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Enjoy rates as low as 9.90% APR with a Visa Platinum credit card from BMI FCU. The perfect low-rate card for your wallet. Apply today at bmifcu.org/visa.
Buckeye fans, it's time for date night with Ohio State women's basketball. This Thursday, February 13th, join us at the Shot to watch the Buckeyes take on Minnesota. Don't miss out on themed games, unforgettable fan experiences, and the ultimate Buckeye traditions. Buy your tickets and gear up for game day at ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
My name is Paul. I'm 58 years old. I lost 45 pounds thanks to the Awaken 180 program. Before Awaken 180, I was drinking Pepto out of the bottle at night to go to sleep from heartburn. I was struggling getting up and down the stairs, like tired all the time. And I didn't know that's how it wasn't supposed to be. I just accepted that's how my life is. And then one day I said, it doesn't have to be this way. I made a decision to change my life, and I chose Awaken 180, and that was the best choice I ever made. I needed support. I'm a person who needed support. Awaken 180 provided that support for me. They changed my relationship with food. I changed it with their guidance. That was the whole thing. I had to change my relationship with food. And I learned how to eat. I learned healthy fats. I learned all about sugar and what it does to me. And I just learned a new way to live.
A change Paul and I both needed and we received with Awaken 180. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the fourth line is free? Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Are you feeling tired, slower, or achier than you used to? You might think it's just age, but it could be low testosterone. At Columbus Men's Clinic, they've helped thousands of men who didn't realize their symptoms were caused by declining testosterone levels, a problem that's becoming a new norm in American men. Columbus Men's Clinic refuses to accept this new normal. They're committed to restoring testosterone to healthy levels so you can feel like yourself again, whether at home, in the gym, at work, or in the bedroom. For years, their medical provider has delivered testosterone therapy tailored to each man's needs. No one-size-fits-all solutions, just real science-backed results delivered by discreet local experts. Imagine more energy, sharper focus, and newfound confidence. A same-day testosterone check and consultation is just $99. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com today. Your prime years aren't over. They're just waiting to be unleashed. Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Getting the cold shoulder? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
National University honors those who have broken barriers and paved the way for future generations. If you're a parent and a professional, a dreamer and a doer, NU is here to support you. With flexible online classes and career-focused resources, you can earn your degree while balancing work, family, and everything in between. Empower your future today at nu.edu. That's nu.edu.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan.
Good morning, I'm Mark the Shark. Ohio State led Nebraska by 8 points early in the second half at Lincoln, but the Cornhuskers went on a 24-8 run to take the lead, and they never trailed again on the way to a 79-71 win over the Buckeyes. Bryce Williams led the Huskers with 24 points and 10 rebounds. Micah Parrish scored a career-high 30 points for the Buckeyes, who dropped to 14-10 overall, 6-7 in the Big Ten. Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans was pretty much over at halftime when the Eagles led 24-0. It was certainly over late in the third quarter when Philadelphia's lead ballooned to 34-zip. The Chiefs scored 3 touchdowns in the final 16 minutes, but it wasn't nearly enough as the Eagles won 40-22. It was their second Super Bowl victory in 5 tries. Kansas City failed in its attempt to become the first team to three-peat. This Sports Center is brought to you by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
A radio show hosted by 2 former football players, one slightly more successful than the other. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour 3 of the program for us on a Reaction Monday. Coming up here this hour, Joshua Perry. He's going to join the program. We'll talk all things Super Bowl and getting to the teeth of the NFL offseason with him. He's at 8:30.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, the largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard in Central Ohio. And everything you need for the master griller.
Let me ask you guys this question. Shark, you've been a multiple-time father, been a father longer than I've been alive. And Austin,
I've been working on it for a while.
You've been a father longer than me as well. When do kids go from being fearless to afraid of things? Because I feel like we may have hit that threshold like yesterday. Because, we'll run around. Like yesterday afternoon, we took a walk to the park. Like it was cold out, but Willie was all over the place. His big thing is just like, no, we're really into the no's right now. He doesn't know any other words. You ask him if he wants to do anything. No. Like he just kind of wants to do whatever he's doing in that minute, and then he's not happy with what he's doing. Says he wants to do something. No. You want to go to the park? No. And so we bundle him up. We go to the park yesterday, and he's running around. It's cool. Like I'm running with Theo. We're walking with Theo, and running around the park, like chasing him and everything. And he loved the slide. Like the slide. Who doesn't love a slide? So mom was up there on the slide with him. It's like, you want to go down with me? No way. Like threw a fit. Like didn't want to go down the slide. We have a mini, tiny little tyke slide in our backyard. Like he goes down, but just wouldn't do the slide yesterday. And I don't know where that fear came from him.
It's once they, I think, start developing memory and have experienced pain, then the fear comes in. Okay. Because up to that point, if you're not processing, you're just moment to moment, you're just a butterfly, you're one. Like you don't have any idea what consequences are, repercussions, injury. You can't remember any of it. You're just on to the next thing. Once you start developing a little bit of memory, that's where fear comes in. So I think you're at that point, bud.
He's never fallen off the slide though. Like he's always had a good time on the slide.
You're not there for every slide, are you?
I'm 95% of them. I'm almost shooting 100%.
Mayor didn't want to tell you about the time that he fell.
I mean, yeah, they do go to the park without me sometimes, but I feel like she would illuminate that. Yeah, I mean, she's sitting right next to him, double barrel slides. Like, let's go down together. No way. He's just staunch and very adamant that he was not going down the slide. Like he would get onto the slide, would have his feet getting ready to go down, and then just like turtle up, go back the other way. No way.
I like the emphasis on it, the no way.
Yeah, he was pretty adamant that he was not going down that slide.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not going to be the same for everyone, but there were times around 2 when Lib started showing some of those signs of fear. She's going through that right now. She is, as we prepare for Disneyland, she is adamant. She's not going on Haunted Mansion.
No
way.
I don't want to. No way.
And that was one of the things that
it is haunted.
We fought about on the previous trip, because like the first time we went to Disney World, she loved Haunted Mansion. That was like her favorite ride. And
do they have a Haunted Mansion in LA too?
They do. And like the stretching room she thought was funny, and like the spooky voice in there, she would laugh at it and we would hold hands, and I thought that she was pretending to be scared. And then now she says, "No, I'm very scared of it. I'm not doing it. You can go on Haunted Mansion by yourself."
Is this when you screamed at her last year?
No, it's similar. Tower of Terror was where that came to
actually scary.
Yeah. And for sure. But that was the one. So Tower, and that's what took me to my breaking point, was Tower of Terror. The very first time we went, she said that was her absolute favorite ride. She said that she married Tower of Terror on our first visit, and that was the love of her life. And now she won't get on it. And that's when I was like, what is happening here? And then some other things were said, and some things I regret. We don't have to talk about it again on this show. But now it's like, no way am I doing Haunted Mansion? So I've just given up on it. It's like, okay, you're 7. Like, you're almost 8. And you've ridden this ride multiple times.
Can she get on every ride?
She can get on every ride. Okay. And she's, she did, rock and roller coaster. She's gone upside down. She's done real roller coasters. But the stretching room now freaks her out. And she doesn't want to be on the elevator.
What about that's Guardians not even the ride. Galaxy Mission Breakout?
Well, so that is the same ride format as Tower of Terror. It's just, re-themed for the Guardians. And she's super excited for this one. I said, what? It's the same ride. I'm not going to fight it, though, because
different characters.
She likes Rocket. And so she's like, well, this is a Rocket ride. Okay, whatever. Tower of Terror.
Really, she just likes Bradley Cooper.
No, she just likes messing with me. That's what she likes.
Rangers 4, Jackets 3 over the weekend. Good news for them. They have 12 days off until their next game. 14 in total.
Who's going to win the Four Nations?
USA, baby.
Okay. Go Yanks.
Yeah. Zach Werenski on a tear.
He needs give him a break. Why does he have to go play other games? I don't want to say it. I almost said it out loud.
You want to keep him in form.
I want to keep him healthy. I want to keep him in bubble wrap because the Jackets have enough injuries. And I don't want to say what I'm feeling.
21? He's 21 home point streak.
It feels like a million.
It does feel like a million, considering you've played 56 games. Half of those, he's basically been scoring or assisting on one of your goals since the very beginning of the season.
I swear, if he comes back,
don't say it. Don't even say it.
I swear, if they harm one hair on his head,
this beautiful head,
I will burn NHL headquarters to the ground.
Gary Bettman,
I'm coming for you.
You listening?
You leave my sweet prince alone.
Shark, maybe we should make that the fan poll. Who will win the Four Nations tournament?
Got 4 options ready made.
When does it start? We'll do it then.
Four Nations face off begins Wednesday at 8:10.
There's your Wednesday poll.
Canada and Sweden. Who wins tonight's game between Canada and Sweden?
I can't wait to get Mike Bennett's take on that.
I can't either.
I'm going to be on the way to the airport just listening.
Talk about a take quake. Mike Bennett on the Four Nations tournament. Woo! That's going to be can't miss.
I think he's ready.
I think he's ready to rock on that too. So they get the Blackhawks the 22nd coming off the break, so they still got 12 days left. Boone Jenner's going to be back after the break, which is fantastic. I'll be pumped to see Captain, my captain, back in some Union Blue. USC took down Ohio State women's basketball on Saturday night, 84-63, went 0-2 on the road trip. We talked about how splitting would be not ideal. 2-0 would be ideal, but splitting would be good. And just didn't go their way Saturday evening out in Los Angeles for the Devil Leg. So they went 0-2 on that trip, 84-63, the final score for them. They get Minnesota back at home here on Thursday. Ohio State men's basketball yesterday had an 8-point lead in the second half. Poof, that was gone. 79-71. Nebraska takes them down. 7 games left, 3 in a row at home. Then they do the LA double swing, which will be interesting to see. Hopefully it goes better than the Ohio State women's basketball team did. But yeah, these next 3 home games for them are critical if they want to work their way into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Critical, absolutely critical.
Yeah, they had a chance, and those are the ones you don't want to have to look back and regret. If you are outside on Selection Sunday and you think, man, it's not the most difficult place that you're going to go play. It's not the most difficult opponent that you're going to face, but you have an 8-point lead on the road in a conference game. What if that just went another way? And you don't want to, you can't think about it. You can't dwell on it now. There's nothing you can do to change it. But those are the ones where we'll look back. And if that does wind up costing Ohio State, but man, just finish off a few more minutes against Nebraska and things could look different. Didn't happen for them. And that's been the theme of this year. Just every time it feels like there's some momentum or an opportunity to break through. And they did against Maryland right before that. I think that's why there was some good feelings. Like maybe this team has turned a corner. They can bottle that up and carry it in it. And you'll look back and you're going to be in the NCAA tournament field because of what you did at the start of February.
And they were down big again against Nebraska too to open that up. Like it wasn't Maryland big.
Yeah.
From what it was this past week, but it was still like they didn't start off great. Then they took control at the end of the first half, and then just kind of ran out of steam there.
Just a roller coaster. That's been the way these years gone, and that summed up even on Sunday against Nebraska.
I'll say this: I would rather be the 10 seed than the 8 seed. I've always thought being a 10 or 11, you got to pull off an upset in the first round. You know, you got to beat if you're a 10 seed, you got to beat a 7. But then you're facing.
You're talking about in the conference tournament?
I'm talking about in the NCAA tournament. Because in your second round, then you're facing the 3 seed. If you're an 8 seed, you got to face the 1 seed, right?
Easy to knock off a 1 seed, Shark. You saw it happen in person by a 16 seed.
I did.
You know how I learned that fact?
It's up on the billboard.
It is up on the big board. I look at that every day.
Yeah.
Fun fact about me. I once witnessed a 16 seed knock off a number 1 seed.
In person.
Does it have a countdown too? Like until Shark retires right next to it?
It should. Yeah, we should install that on the big board. Maybe I'll run that up the ladder today,
All right.
Shark. Ohio State men's basketball.
Get that light fixed in the studio, too.
I'll do that during the break. I'll throw a pin at it, see what happens. Ohio State men's basketball in action Wednesday at home against Washington. or for those of you out from Southern Ohio, Washington at 8:30. So that's a weird start time, middle of the week for the Buckeyes. Turns out defense still wins championships. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, 70 westbound is still closed downtown. This stretches between 71 and 315. If you're coming in from the east side, use Broad Street or 670 westbound to avoid this. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steckerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic sponsored by Great Lakes Kia. Brand new Kias for less than lunch from just $5 a day. Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia. Visit GreatLakesKia.com.
Hey, we've all been there. It starts as a nuisance, something you just put up with. It's that joint pain. It starts to hurt, impacting everything in your life, whether it's your knee, your back, your hip, your shoulder, walking, climbing stairs, even getting out of the car, moving around. It all hurts. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And I'm talking about that always there, that nagging pain, the stuff that I had when I got done playing professional football. It was in my knee. So what did I do? I went to see my friends at QC Kinetics. Their groundbreaking new treatments for arthritis pain provide long-term relief. The regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. They're right here, right in Columbus, Ohio, under the leadership of Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sport Medicine and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon. So here's what you want to do. Go to QCkinetics/Columbus, because I'm going to tell you this, it's not going to get better with time. You can't wish it away. They've got an office in Dublin, one in Gahanna, or give them a call at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Rodeo fans, saddle up for the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo, February 15th at Nationwide Arena. Come early for autographs, pony rides, and more. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. It's the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo.
Back in the studio with a return visit from
Todd Schmelt.
Todd, the last time you were with us, you claimed to be
the dumbest person in Columbus.
You're being really hard on yourself.
Not in the least. You know what I got?
I hate to ask.
One of them thermostats with the dial and the needle. Woo, woo, woo.
Maybe that's not modern, but not.
What am I? Eli Whitney, Elias Howe, Johann Gertis?
I don't know who those people are.
Those are old-timey people from the 19th century, and that's me. Outdated, like my silly old thermostat.
Okay, look, you're not the dumbest guy in Columbus. You just haven't called Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Those guys. Whether it's the latest technology, fixing your furnace, or a brand new system, they know all the stuff so you don't have to.
I don't have to know it all?
Nah, you just have to know the pros who knows.
Apex Pros. I'm not the dumbest guy in Columbus.
I didn't even know who Johann Gertis was.
Inventor of the gas-powered unicycle. Look it up, doy.
Okay, you don't have to be mean.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from Classic 3-Cheese, Pepperoni, or Extreme Meat Pizza. Save big with the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 3/4/25. See app for full terms.
Another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company for your next vehicle. This is Justin Hinderer. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, award-winning service, and our exclusive Carvenience. We pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it so you save time and enjoy peace of mind. That's Carvenience. At Hinderer Motor Company, we take care of everything so you can drive worry-free. See why we're the best choice for your next new or used car by visiting HindererMotorCompany.com.
Rothman and Ice.
If your ego gets bruised that much to where you feel like you need to leave, that's not on Coach Day. They came out of that Oregon game and didn't sack Dylan Gabriel one time.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
February is Children's Dental Health Month, so make sure you make an appointment for your child to visit an Ohio Dental Association member dentist. ODA member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and have access to superior ongoing education and training. On your next visit, ask if your child's dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
How'd you like to wipe out all that credit card debt to start the new year off right? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Stop getting fleeced by the credit card companies. If you own your home, go to AFLcash.com now. Advantage First Lending can help you unlock that equity and get you tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's AFLcash.com. You can pay off all your credit cards and other high-interest debt super fast. Consolidate all your bills into one low monthly payment. AFLcash.com can help you tap into your home's equity to give you some serious cash so you can go into 2025 with less stress and more confidence. Get the cash you need from Advantage First Lending now. Most homeowners don't even need an appraisal. How great is that? Get on solid financial footing. Go to AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. 844-394-CASH.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Looking at a bright and sunny day today. High temperatures climbing up to the middle and upper 30s. Cold tonight, low 28. Cloudy and dreary on your Tuesday with perhaps a snow shower or two. High 37. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Prime Sports is the official sports book of Morning Juice.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
The Fan. Heading to work? Keep listening to the guys at the office.
Stream the show at 971thefan.com or download the Fan app.
This is Morning Juice.
Coming up here 8:30 this morning, Joshua Perry, he's going to join the program. Well, like during the breaks, we find out a lot of fun facts about each other. Like Shark once witnessing a 16 seed taking down a number 1 seed in person. Doing a little Wyoming chatter in here. Did you say, how far did you say the drive was that you made 3 times a week from Casper to Laramie?
It was 145 miles from my door to like Wyoming's football facility. And I would have to make that. So I was one of the first people that got them to the Casper Star Tribune. That was my first job. I was the Wyoming football beat reporter. We would split it because the Star Tribune was sort of like Ohio State football, just developed here. Yeah. It was cranking out, people who would go cover Wyoming, have a nice, Mountain West conference, like mid-major beat, and then they'd propel on to the next step in their career, 1 or 2 years to stay there. Well, I was fine to stay for a while. So why don't you just let this person live in Laramie and not have to go back and forth? I don't know about that. We'd have to do different positions and, yeah, well, fine. But because there was already somebody else who was there covering basketball at the same time as me. So like whoever the first person to move out of Casper was going to get to move to Laramie to do that. I thought it would be me because I was just sick of this drive. You go 3 times a week, I'm going, because it's 145 miles down there. So that's not the full round trip bargain. It's a two-lane highway through the Shirley Basin. And my mom, who grew up in Wyoming, was always just terrified of this. She's like, if you break down, you're going to die. If you go down there and when there's ice on the roads, like you could die. There's no cell phone. At this time, there's like no cell service. You're just out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm making this drive, just cruising in my rodeo 3 times a week.
Nice.
And it does get pretty dicey. And I think back on it now, and I hope to never have to be on that stretch of road again. But you only pass through like 2 towns.
I'm not seeing many towns on
You
my
have
way down.
2 opportunities to stop. And that's it.
And a majority of that, the towns, Austin, are located near Casper and then near Laramie.
That's it. Yeah, you got about a...
That stretch between the basin looks harrowing.
You don't want to do it.
Is that stretch what you're talking about right here as I'm pointing to?
That is Shirley Basin that you're looking at right in there. And you don't... I hope you don't go visit it. There are a lot of places in Wyoming that I would recommend, even off the beaten path. You want to go see buffalo, play a little golf there, get up in the mountains in Sheridan, play Powderhorn. Beautiful golf, beautiful skiing. Everyone knows Jackson. But I would not recommend a vacation in Shirley Basin. I'm just going to advise against it.
Does anybody in Wyoming own a swimming pool?
Does anybody own a swimming pool? I don't recall.
I remember anybody having summers have to be really short there.
I don't recall any of my friends growing up having swimming pools. Now there was really good weather in the summer. Although it did snow once on the 4th of July in Casper.
Well, Beamer just told me during the break that the lowest elevation in the whole state is 3,100 feet.
Yeah.
So everybody's in the mountains, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, like Casper Mountain and where my house was, we were on the edge of town on the east side of Casper, and there was nothing outside my window. I looked straight out to Casper Mountain. So
nice.
Pretty cool, but there was also no windbreak. So my window just all year round is just getting buffeted by wind, just nonstop. And it was really cool to grow up in that, part of the world and to have that option. Like I had a, annual ski pass, and it would take us 15 minutes.
Hagedon?
Get up to Hagedon and go crush it.
My bad.
That's fine.
My bad.
We're all learning here. Like that's really awesome. And I wouldn't trade that for anything, the opportunity that I had growing up. But those were you did that instead of having a pool. I don't remember any swim parties, anything like that growing up. We had, at my high school, there was an outdoor pool, but I think it was only open like 3 months out of the year. We didn't have a lot of use for that, Shark.
Do you think you will ever live there again?
I don't think so. I joke. Well, I don't. Maybe it sounds like a threat to Allie. It's a joke to me. If the interest in Wyoming football was a tenth of what it is for Ohio State football, which allows me an opportunity to live a pretty comfortable life, more comfortable than I deserve, I always would say covering the Mountain West, living in Wyoming, the places that you go to go cover road games, like that's the dream setup. But unfortunately, there's not that level of interest, and nothing comes close to Ohio State. So if I could work and live out there, I would. But I've also been in the longest I've ever lived anywhere in my life now is Columbus. Like this is my home, and I haven't even been back to Wyoming in probably 5 years. I'd love to. I miss it a lot, but I've been here so long, and I love living in Columbus so much that I don't even make that threat or joke with her anymore.
Hypothetical world that Wyoming does become the sleeping power that you're talking about.
It should be.
But you have to make the drive down the Shirley Basin to cover your team. Would you do it?
I'm out on that.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. It's like Berm does this. He does what I don't know why. I mean, because he's living 1 mile across the border. He makes a similar drive to come down here a couple of times a week.
71 is heroin.
But he's on like real roads with multiple stops every 10 miles if you need. He has no idea what it's like to be out and know you can't get in communication with anyone. If you're out of gas, you're completely screwed. I have spun off that road before, and it is not fun. That is, you don't know when the next person's coming by to help pull you out of a ditch. That was one of the worst experiences. I was like, oh, wait, my mom was right. I need to get rid of this Nissan Sentra because it's not going to work on Shirley Basin in January. That's when we upgraded to the rodeo. But
Austin, are you old enough to remember when Fennis Denbo played for the University of Wyoming?
I was 3 when Fennis Denbo was on the cover.
Okay.
Now, I've met Fennis Denbo. I've done interviews and stories with him. Legendary presence still to this day in Laramie. But I didn't get to see him. Marcus Bailey was the superstar when I was growing up down there in Laramie. They had another good run. Like, they've had very good basketball teams.
Larry Nance Jr.
Yeah, another one that went to the NCAA tournament, another run. Like
the Dome of Doom.
Then the Dome of Doom is a great place, the Arena Auditorium, to go watch a basketball game. It was awesome. I think it is a great place to grow up, and then it was great for my career because they play NCAA tournament games. They draw big crowds for basketball. They have a good football program, so that part is really cool. But having to commute between Casper and Laramie is not the ideal way, and I think you can only make someone who's like 22 years old do that. There's no in my situation, no. Especially with a family at home.
Not doing it.
I don't think we're doing that anymore.
Today's not the day, Shirley Basin.
Not today, and don't call me Shirley.
You're not going to get me today. Joshua Perry reacts to the Super Bowl and Buckeye hirings with us here in 2 minutes. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still watching I-70 westbound shut down between 315 and 71 downtown. All of those westbound lanes still closed. If you're coming from the east side, use 670 westbound or East Broad Street to avoid. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medication. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Keep on swiping that card, baby. Keep on swiping that card. Charge it to winning. This is Morning Juice.
Coming up tomorrow at this very time at 8:30 on Tuesdays, we get to check in with our favorite uncle in the entire world, Uncle Bo Bishop. He joins us. Though Reaction Monday, we get to head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, check with our guy. He is Joshua Perry. JP, thanks for the time. As always, appreciate it. What about that Eagles defense last night, man? Unbelievable performance against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They sacked him 6 times, only rushed 4 the entire game. Like, that's as impressive as a defensive performance as you're going to see in that spot, JP.
Totally agree with that. Eagles defense up to the challenge. Chiefs, I felt like they had an issue on the offensive line coming into the game, but I didn't think it was going to be exposed in that way. And then, like, everybody saw the memes probably on Twitter last night, basically saying that Patrick Mahomes turned into Dylan Raiola, which I thought was totally hilarious. I mean, it was just a dominant performance by Philly, and certainly the team that deserved to hoist the trophy at the end of the night.
Joshua, when you look at a defense that is dominating, like we say this all the time, you need to be able to control the line of scrimmage, and if you can get pressure without bringing blitzes, you're going to win the game. I don't know that I can remember a time where a defense is like, watch this, we're going to bring 0 blitzes in the entirety of the game. Like, what's the closest thing you remember being a part of for a defensive effort like that?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think when we played Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship, it was probably as thorough as a defensive performance as we could have gotten. But, like, the thing about what Philly did, though, is, you know, Patrick Mahomes, nobody's really been able to make him look like that. And even when you're able to take maybe his first or second option away, he's a guy who's been able to create with his legs and keep plays alive and do the magic thing. And so they came alive in the second half. But, I mean, they really made that team play left-handed. And I think when you have personnel like Kansas City does, you know, when you're able to shut them out. I mean, looking at the first half stats, would they have like 30 yards of offense in the first half of the game? Just adjusting for what I believe Kansas City has proven to be. I'm not sure I've seen anything quite like it.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive too. And it wasn't just like touch sacks either, JP. I mean, that play where Patrick Mahomes got the ball stripped from him, I mean, he got absolutely smoked. So the Eagles were bringing the heat last night, and I know that only theoretically because they were only bringing 4 guys, but like he was not only having a bad time statistically, like he was getting as beat up as I've seen him get beat up in his NFL career, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was miserable. I mean, again, I thought the offensive line for Kansas City could have been an issue for them. But like, I'm just curious to see what that conversation is going to be like, as they head into the offseason, what the conversations were last night in the locker room or on the sidelines. Because if I was Patrick Mahomes, I'd be looking at those dudes and be like, hey, man, like, they are not doing anything special. Like, I just need y'all to actually block somebody. I'm back here getting killed right now.
Joshua, I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you made it to this part of the game because you posted a yawn emoji, so I don't know if you went to sleep. But Tom Brady was talking about late in the game how even with all of his Super Bowl victories, that he still will lose sleep thinking about the losses. He thinks about the losses more than the wins. You've been a part of championship performances. You've also had painful losses in your career. Does that apply to every competitor equally? Do you think about the losses? Well, Patrick Mahomes is probably going to be thinking about this certainly for this offseason. But when your career wound down, was it the highs or the lows that you reflected on more?
I wake up once a week in a cold sweat thinking about the 2015 Michigan State game. Right?
Okay.
Like I think that's kind of where we all are. And part of the reason why, and this is the same thing for a guy like Tom Brady who's had so much success, is there weren't a lot of losses to begin with, so you can recall every single one of them without having to think that hard. 2013 Big Ten championship against Michigan State, Orange Bowl against Clemson, played Virginia Tech at home, lost that one, and then 2015 against Michigan State was the last game I played in the shoe. It was my senior day. That's it. That's the list, and I think about those games all the time. So I totally get that, and especially when you make it to the end of the season and you're competing for a championship, like it's going to stick out in your mind. So for a guy like Patrick Mahomes, I think we all believe that he's one of the ultimate competitors. Yeah, he's probably going to wake up in the middle of the night just sweating. His wife's going to be like, "Are you okay?" And he's going to be like, "No, I'm really not. Like, this is terrible. It's terrible. It's a bad feeling."
He is Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. JP, what did you make of the Buckeye coaching? Well, I shouldn't say hirings because it's not technically official yet, but Ryan Day's contract extension.
Maneuverings.
And then maneuverings to elevate Brian Hartline back to offensive coordinator, and then Billy Fessler to quarterbacks coach, and Mr. Bowen is the offensive line coach. So some Buckeye coaching news in there.
Yeah, I mean, first off, Ryan Day earned the contract, right? Like, there are only 3 coaches active right now with national championships. He's making money like those guys. So I think he definitely has earned the extension. And again, for all of what he went through this year in particular after the loss to Michigan, signing that contract to me is like he's basically saying, I would do it over again. Through all the craziness, he wants to be here. And I'm very happy to see that certainly earned. For Brian Hartline, I mean, this was the opportunity, right? Like, they tried to do it a couple years ago, maybe didn't go to plan, but he's been able to kind of develop his coaching chops as, a broader offensive mind with a guy like Chip Kelly last year. I think that definitely helps. Again, another guy who I think has earned the opportunity to be in this position. Now, again, I'm curious as a full-time play caller what the ups and downs might be like. And I think that's why Bowen was a good hire, because he's a guy who has experience with the front of the offense, has experience as a play caller who can help in building a game plan. So I think that they're trying to make this thing as a good around Brian Hartline as they can. But again, like, you talk about opportunities and earning it for the guys who have been here. For Ryan Day, earned, deserved, absolutely. For Brian Hartline, earn the opportunity, I think deserved. We'll see what happens from there. We've heard great things about Fessler, which, again, internal, keep them coming through the system. Urban Meyer has talked about having guys that you have identified inside your building in case people end up leaving, right? So I definitely like this. He came with Chip Kelly. He's been a full-time position coach. It's a good move there. So I'm pretty satisfied overall. Like, if there's one criticism, of course, it's like Brian Hartline has not called plays in high-leverage situations. And at Ohio State, you feel like you got to have a guy who's had that experience. But, again, like, I can't be mad about elevating him. He's been around the building. He knows Ryan's philosophy. He's learned with Chip. The guys love him. Like, I think it's a deserved opportunity.
Seems like there might be one of those deserved opportunities as well for Matt Guerreri and Tim Walton on the other side of the ball. Joshua, like, there's still a spot for Ryan Day to fill on that side of the ball. If you're looking at it, what do you think is the ideal, profile for a candidate? Not talking about names specifically necessarily here, but how would you want to attack that side of the ball with Jim Knowles gone?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like this would have been the opportunity to go for an outside hire and like try to be real splashy here. And it doesn't feel like that's the direction that they're gonna go, and I'm perfectly fine with that. The profile kind of has to be the head coach of the defense, though, because that's what Jim Knowles was. And when the good thing about having a play caller with the experience on the offensive side is Ryan was allowed to do the thing where he could be with both. But I think there was a ton of trust in Jim Knowles to just kind of run the defense, and if necessary, Ryan could get over there. And so I think they kind of need that profile there. It's a question about Matt G, where, it's not like he's got a ton of experience doing it. He's called plays in the past, which I do think is important, but he's not like the seasoned veteran that Jim Knowles was. But I think that's where I look at O.G. Walt as a guy, and a lot of people I feel like don't even think about this, but a guy who played for Ohio State and a guy who's like, a little bit more seasoned, called plays as a coordinator in the NFL and like a really good recruiter. Like, he fits that profile there. And so, like, if we saw a co-coordinator sing on that side of the ball, I don't know if I'd necessarily be disappointed. It feels like they're trying to figure out internally what that move is going to be like, and I'm totally fine with that. Again, you talk about opportunities with Matt G, right? Goes away, comes as an analyst, goes away, and then comes back and kind of earns the respect of the people around the building. And then for Walton, just like a guy who people respect. Like, those would be two guys, again, who would have earned the opportunity to run the defense.
What was your favorite part about Super Bowl Sunday? Game, commercials, food spread, halftime show, or anything else, JP?
Yeah, it was kind of a yawn, just overall. Like, I guess the food would be the best part, but like, no shade to my guy. I was with one of my guys, Russ Dorsey, baseball writer here in Chicago. We used to do the rally together. And I feel like the tavern style pizza here in Chicago is terrible, and the deep dish is terrible. And so he ordered pizza, and it was average. Like, everything about yesterday was very average to me at best, and the game was bad. Kendrick Lamar, shout out to Kendrick. I thought it was a great halftime show. I know some people had their opinions about, whether that's the type of thing that really gets the crowd going. But he was sending a message.
Yeah, he was.
I think he delivered it.
I agree.
Yeah, which I'm totally here for. So maybe Kendrick will be the highlight.
Are you a jardiniere on pizza kind of guy, or is that like a forbidden thing for you?
No, I would do it. I do that. And I think, like, deep dish just kind of depends. I like the one with the big sausage patty in the bottom. Like, that's pretty good. But you can only eat it a couple times a year. It's like, it's just so just heavy. And then the tavern style, super overrated. Like, people talk about Pequods, terrible, awful. I would say Donato's, Cheshire Market for the people who live up in Delaware, Lewis Center, and Galena, where I grew up. I would take that 10 times out of 10 over anything here in the city of Chicago.
Oh, my.
Hey, before we get you out of here, Austin is opining for Nickelback to be the halftime performers at the Super Bowl next year. Are you in or are you out on that, JP?
I mean, I think that's kind of where they're going to go after this year's halftime show. Roger Goodell said, no more of this. We're not doing this. The president was sitting there, and he probably didn't like it very much. I think they're probably going to go with Coldplay, Nickelback. That seems like it's going to be the play from here on out.
JP, always appreciate the time. Thanks for jumping on with us. Hopefully your Monday's a little bit better than your average Sunday, all right?
All right. Appreciate you guys.
There he goes. Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're going to reveal our fan poll next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still watching I-70 westbound shut down between 315 and 71 downtown. All of those westbound lanes still closed. If you're coming from the east side, use 670 westbound or East Broad Street to avoid. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? TrueHold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. TrueHold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much TrueHold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Buckeye fans, it's time for date night with Ohio State women's basketball. This Thursday, February 13th, join us at the Shot to watch the Buckeyes take on Minnesota. Don't miss out on themed games, unforgettable fan experiences, and the ultimate Buckeye traditions. Buy your tickets and gear up for game day at ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Guys, let's talk about something real. Ever had a bad experience in the bedroom that totally threw you off? It messes with your head, your confidence, and suddenly it's all you can think about. Next thing you know, you're avoiding trying altogether because the fear of failure is just too much. That's where Columbus Men's Clinic comes in. For over a decade, their medical providers have been helping men overcome ED and providing hope even when the pills and other treatments have failed. Their proven personalized treatments have some of the highest success rates out there, with results that bring back your confidence and connection. It's important to get your ED treated now so that it doesn't get harder to treat down the road. Columbus Men's Clinic has treatments that online pharmacies only dream about. Tonight is your night for intimacy and connection. Call Columbus Men's Clinic today at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Your consultation is discreet and could be the start of something incredible. 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. And let's make tonight unforgettable. Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Getting cold feet? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text GRIT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text GRIT to 42424. That's GRIT to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
What's the going rate for a good babysitter? Also, Shark needs a raise. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Uncle Bo and the boys are going to be up after we're done until noon. All kinds of good stuff for them coming up today. Of course, talking about the Super Bowl. And it is a Monday. So coming up at 10:30, Austin Ward, he's going to join their program.
Oh, that's interesting.
What are you guys going to talk about today?
I don't know.
Why don't you just stay here until 10:30?
No, I don't think so. I'm out on that one.
No?
They can call me.
Not going to do it?
No. That's like you trying to get me to do Friday's hit at 4:30 a.m. Pacific time.
You'll be fine.
Will I?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, you'll be fine. Just set your alarm, wake up, talk like zombie mode for 10 minutes, and go back to bed.
I have done it in worse states of mind.
Well, what do you mean?
I don't know. There have been a couple times that call has popped in from Shark. And I hang up the phone.
Why is this phone ringing?
And I don't remember that we had that.
Did I make any sense when I was talking?
I think the last time that happened was the day of the Cotton Bowl. not the Texas game,
The Missouri
game, because the media party.
I don't even remember that game.
Yeah, I wish that I didn't remember it, but I know that the night before, at the media party, we continued it. We went out to Bar Louie that was like across the street from the hotel, and Adam King jumped onto my back. I think he called it some sort of like piggyback challenge that he did with his friends in college, and they expected me to know what that was.
This isn't college.
And I went down. And I woke up the next morning, and
why does my hip hurt?
I did the hit. I didn't really remember the hit on the radio.
It was good.
Getting ready for the Missouri game. But then I looked at my shorts, and they were covered in blood.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what in the world? And I looked at my knee. The scar is...
This is a massacre.
The scar is still on there. And there was like blood on my shoes. I was like... Because I didn't go back. I stayed out at Bar Louie and like finished the evening. But apparently there's blood everywhere. It was like the Super Bowl. It was a massacre.
Bloodbath.
Thanks, Adam King.
Well, you have an hour and a half to get into that state of mind if you want to go on with Bo.
I can make that happen.
Yeah, of course you can. You're a grizzled vet.
I'm not afraid to be great.
My tabs this morning are pretty awesome, too.
You keep more tabs open than any person I know.
Well, I like to keep a tab, and I'm talking about like my internet tab, by the way, on Google Chrome. I like to keep a tab open because we oscillate stories. We go back and forth. And if there's info that I need, like if I want to jump back into the Eagles box score, it's right there. I got it. It's right there. If I want to go back into the Buckeye men's or women's basketball box score, it's right there. My tab from this morning starts off with Jack Antonoff, which we were talking about, I don't know, today in 2012 or whenever it is. Fun.
Yeah.
Released their song or did something, got to number 1. So I was like, all right, Jack Antonoff, that makes sense. An explainer of the NFL salary cap rules if and when you retire.
Aaron Rodgers,
that makes sense. Upcoming Nickelback tour dates.
Juiced.
Well, that's you because you're a big.
You're going to be juiced. Now. You're going to be you're going to fire that up on the way home.
I'll listen to some Nickelback
live in Nashville.
Is that what I need? That's your recommended listening,
dude. You'll come in tomorrow. So, man, you're right. I am juiced now. I'm going to run through a wall. Nickelbacker.
Yeah.
We're going to start the local chapter. It's probably already bustling.
Oh,
Baker popped in during the show. He's like, yeah, they came to Nationwide 5 years ago. It was awesome.
It was the best show I've ever been to.
That's what he said.
Yeah, they're performing halftime at the Super Bowl next year. At least you're starting a petition for that. I've got the Four Nations face-off odds.
Of course.
In front of me.
Only 4 options.
The map of the Disneyland park and what to expect. And then the final one in there was just a map of Wyoming.
Not a lot on it.
There's not a lot. You're right. 524,000 people live in Wyoming.
Yeah, 1 per square mile. We all just get a square mile. You drive in, you say, I would like to be a citizen of Wyoming, please. And they say, here's your square mile of land.
Don't they do that for Alaska? Don't they pay you money to move there?
Do they?
I thought they did.
You know how some states... They have the outline of the state at center court on a basketball. Ohio State's got a lot of things going on.
Wyoming's just shaped like the state.
Wyoming's just a square.
I can't respond. It's just true.
It is true. That's a good-looking state out there.
I'm going to get out there in retirement at some point.
You said that you were looking for somewhere to go in April.
Yes. I'm not going to Wyoming in April.
Why? It's beautiful.
No, I'm going in the summer when I go. But I've got 33 states down. I got 17 to go, including Wyoming. I'll get there.
Idaho?
I haven't been out to Idaho. I haven't been to Washington.
Sounds like a road trip.
I haven't been to Montana. I haven't been to the Dakotas.
Sounds like an RV trip to me.
Head on out to Yellowstone. You can knock out Montana and Wyoming in one day.
That's what I'm going to do.
Love it.
Why don't you take the train out there, actually?
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
That would be cool.
Me and Berm.
You and Berm.
Train
traveling across America.
On the road out to Los Angeles in 2026. You guys can go up, and then he can get off and go south, and you can just stay up there and hang out.
I'm going north. I'm going to take the... go up to Vancouver and then take the train all the way back to Toronto.
That sounds pretty good.
Right
go out
through the Canadian Rockies.
Go out through Banff.
Yes.
Wouldn't that
Jasper?
Wouldn't that be a beautiful place to go? You ever found a good pizza place up near you, Shark? Joshua Perry talking about pizza got me kind of fired up.
I don't want to besmirch the great pizza places we have here in Central Ohio. I haven't found one yet. I mean, the brand, the national brands and everything, it doesn't do much for me. I need to find my place.
You still haven't. You're still searching.
I'm still searching. I had one when I lived in Hilliard back in the 90s. There was a place, Backstreet Pizza, that I worshipped, and I haven't found one of those since.
Everyone needs a good pizza place.
Yes.
Everyone needs to go to.
Gotta have it.
We've got right by our house, Pizza House and Dante's. We oscillate. We jump back and forth between the two.
Are they a little greasy? A little grease?
Yeah, not too bad.
I like grease.
Not too bad. And then if we want to, make a whole night of it, we'll travel to JT's to have a whole experience.
Yeah.
I haven't been down to this new one in Grandview. I heard it's great.
The JT's, once upon a time, the JT's delivery person, Allie and I got back from a crew game. I was like, we got to get JT's.
Yeah, that sounds great. Founder's favorite or Big Al's, whichever one.
Big Al's for me. She doesn't like the pepperonis. It's got to be Big Al's, half pep. Delivery guy pulls up, just leaves the car running, drives into our garage.
No, he didn't.
Crushes it. Said, what? JT's. Mr. JT.
JT, what happened?
What should we do about this? Would you like us to file a report?
Here's the pizza. Take it for free.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got several pizzas paid for that. But that's the spot. JT's and Gallows for me, that part of town.
Yeah. I'm not into the deep dish either. I'm with Joshua on that. I can't.
It's a casserole.
All that.
Yeah, it's not even pizza.
It's a special occasion meal. It's not a pizza technically.
It's a lasagna.
Before we get out of here, it kind of is a lasagna. Our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on Twitter at 971thefan. Do you think your favorite NFL team will ever win a Super Bowl? Yes, no, they already have. No, I don't think they will. Mine.
No, not for me. Not in my lifetime. I've only got a few years to go. You got a long way to go, Beam. The Bears are going to win a Super Bowl in your lifetime.
Are they back?
I think he's saying they're back.
Who's more back, the Browns or the Bears?
Oh, the Bears.
Oh, okay.
You got a quarterback.
Do we?
Yes, you've got a quarterback. That's
better than the Browns.
That's about the least of your worries.
True. Austin, what about you?
I think the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl next year.
I would agree with that. Maybe not next year, but I think that, yes, out of those three teams, they have the highest shot of doing it. Austin, I had so much fun with you today. What do you say we reconvene on a big Tuesday if they allow us? You good with that?
That sounds amazing.
Everybody have an awesome day. Uncle Bo and the boys are up next. We're back live tomorrow morning to break everything down. Have a good one. Talk to you then. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still watching I-70 westbound shutdown between 315 and 71 downtown. All of those westbound lanes still closed. If you're coming from the east side, use 670 westbound or East Broad Street to avoid. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Get ready to make the big game even bigger at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. With 2 massive jumbotrons, over 50 feet of screen, and more than 30 TVs, you won't miss a single play, touchdown, or highlight. Fuel your game with mouthwatering food and bucket specials. Plus, warm up with our pregame cornhole toss for your chance to win big before kickoff. Reserve your table now for the best seat in the house. Visit HollywoodColumbus.com for more details. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Hey guys, Anthony Rothman here. Let's talk about getting you back to your best. If you lack energy, muscle mass, feel moody, or have low libido, it could be low testosterone. You need to know your T level, so get tested. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be your answer, and you'll find true experts at Low T Center. And for current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 credit when you refer a new patient. Go to lowtcenter.com to book the appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Say yes to Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend on February 21st and 22nd. Enjoy buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and special no-interest financing on engagement rings. Visit us in-store and learn more at diamondseller.com.
Get ready, Columbus. The powerful and reliable 2025 Toyota Tundra SR can be yours for just $349 a month. That's right. Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Drive home in a truck built for adventure, performance, and power, all for an unbeatable price. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Visit Germain Toyota of Columbus today and experience the Tundra for yourself. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
$3,999 down, 39-month lease, plus tax, title, and fees. No security deposit required with approved credit. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
How'd you like to wipe out all that credit card debt to start the new year off right? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Stop getting fleeced by the credit card companies. If you own your home, go to AFLcash.com now. Advantage First Lending can help you unlock that equity and get you tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's AFLcash.com. You can pay off all your credit cards and other high-interest debt super fast. Consolidate all your bills into one low monthly payment. AFLcash.com can help you tap into your home's equity to give you some serious cash so you can go into 2025 with less stress and more confidence. Get the cash you need from Advantage First Lending now. Most homeowners don't even need an appraisal. How great is that? Get on solid financial footing. Go to AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com, or call 844-394-CASH. 844-394-CASH.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Beloved former basketball coach and educator Satch Sullinger knows you got to keep moving to stay healthy. But that's not so easy when your aching joints won't cooperate.
We still want to move and we still want to get around and we still want to be active, but we start to deteriorate the moment we quit moving.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments help restore movement in stiff, aching knees, hips, shoulders, and back, using only your natural healing properties to help restore damaged joints. That's a huge positive for Satch.
It's working, and what I really like about it is there's nothing foreign put in my body. Everything that was put in my body has been taken from my body. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I want to live until the day I die.
Get rid of the pain and start moving again. Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus and call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. Again, 208-4544. QC Kinetics.
Hey, it's Chris Canty. Guys, you don't want to fumble Valentine's Day. You need a solid game plan. Send foolproof flowers from the Books Company and get 25% off your entire purchase. Books flowers are fresh, vibrant, and last way longer. Some are even growing on the side of a volcano. Don't wait. Valentine's Day is February 14th, so get your order in now. Go to Books.com. Use my promo code Canty for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code Canty. Books, promo code Canty.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.